Welcome to the Lincoln Motor Company NLDS pregame show on FS1.
You only get one chance to make a first impression, one opportunity to set a precedent. With the division series underway, a new goal presents itself. Take control of your situation.
You want to prove you're the better man. You want to reach for the things that nobody.
In Game 1, the Dodgers sent an early message at the plate.
It is gone! A two-run home run off the bat of Justin Turner.
And closed the door when it counted.
Swing and a miss, and the Dodgers take Game 1 here in Washington.
The Nationals proved they won't back down.
What a battle!
And now look to take their place in the win column.
Get up and get up,
A pivotal Game 2 awaits, and it all continues right now.
61 degrees and sunny in our nation's capital as we welcome you to Nationals Park. Finally, it is Game 2 following yesterday's rainout. The National League Division Series, the Washington Nationals and the Los Angeles Dodgers. And a good afternoon, everybody. Kenny Albert along with Harold Reynolds, Tom Verducci, J.P. Morosi with us as well. Dodgers with a 4-3 victory in Game 1 on Friday night. They're set to go here in Game 2. And Harold, for the Dodgers in that first game, Corey Seager got them off to the early lead with a home run on the 6th pitch of the game.
Well, we talked about the young all-star shortstop being an impact player. Look, two things stand out to me when I first met Corey Seager. One, he's enormous, his size, 6'5", wide body. And the other thing was how polite he was. Then you see him play baseball and you go, wow, this kid's going to be a star for a number of years to come. Getting a chance to see him every day, he does something special. And I tell you what, he's a family, that's his parents right there, mom and dad. They raised him right, proper kid. You'd love to take him home with you. I love watching this kid, love being around him, but he's a true star in all the things you can throw in there about a star athlete.
Just 22, youngest Dodger to hit a home run in postseason history. Tom on the other side, 23-year-old Bryce Harper. He will turn 24 1 week from today. 1 for 5 in Game 1. What have pitchers been doing to neutralize Harper this year?
Well, listen, the Dodgers threw 23 pitches to Bryce Harper in Game 1. They left no mystery how they're going to attack him. Fastballs up and away. Now, if you tried that tactic last year, that'd be like putting your hand on the stove. You're going to get burned. That's what he did last year, but this year has been a different story, and the Dodgers made sure from the start that box there, that red box, that's the target they hit. The catcher set up the target almost every at-bat. Now, if you miss that target, you'll see Kershaw miss right here. Inside, you'll get burned, but you see the difference in the numbers. Susceptible to high fastballs. Today is no different because the Dodgers Game 2 starter, Rich Hill, is a very good high fastball pitcher.
The 36-year-old Hill getting set to make his second career postseason start, his first in over 9 years. And for the Nationals, first career postseason start today, Tanner Roark. It's Game 2 of the National League Division Series in Washington. Dodgers with a 1-0 lead in the best of 5. Nationals, Dodgers, coming up on FS1. Game 2, National League Division Series on a 61-degree afternoon. 24-mile-per-hour winds following the rainout yesterday. Same batting order for the Dodgers. Chase Utley followed by Corey Seager, then Justin Turner, Adrian Gonzalez in the cleanup spot. Josh Reddick, Jock Peterson, Yasmani Grandal, Andrew Tolles, Rich Hill on the mound for the Dodgers here in Game 2. as Chase Utley steps in to lead off against the 30-year-old right-hander. Celebrated a birthday on Wednesday, Tanner Roark. Career high 16 wins for Roark during the regular season. Utley swings at the first pitch, left field. His former teammate in Philadelphia, Jason Worth, what away.
Well, you saw the center fielder right there coming across. You're looking at Tanner Roark's numbers. The sun is bright in left field. It's going to be problematic. So you watch right there, the center fielder sprinting to left to help Worth on that fly ball. But Tanner's been consistent. The strikeouts, the big thing for me, he throws strikes, Tom.
Roark finished 5th in the National League in wins, 6th in earned run average. Here's Corey Seager as that pitch sails to the backstop.
Well, that's a way to make a guy uncomfortable. A guy who loves to swing at first pitches. First pitch, game 1, hits a home run. Wow. First pitch here. Good morning, Mr. Seager. This is your wake-up call.
Seager with the first inning home run on Friday night in game 1, as we mentioned, youngest Dodger to hit a postseason home run. And only the second Dodger rookie to go deep in the postseason. The other, Jim Gilliam, way back in 1953. Now the 3-0 from Roark to Seager. And he sends this one to deep right center. And Corey Seager has done it again in the first inning. A first inning home run in each of the first 2 games of this series for Seager. Dodgers take a 1-0 lead.
Well, I love the fact they gave him the green light 3-0. This is a guy who's locked in, swinging the bat well. You know you're going to get a fastball. And that's the one thing, when you throw a first pitch that goes over a guy's head, now you get to a favorable count. You know they're not throwing anything at you. He got a fastball and did not miss it.
That's right. That's right. Big mistake.
Major League Club's 8-1 win, scoring first during this postseason. Seager during the regular season set a franchise record with 26 home runs. Justin Turner also homered in game 1. A 2-run shot in the 3rd inning off Max Scherzer. Rich Hill waiting to take the mound.
Well, to me, Tanner Roark had to know that Corey Seager green-lighted 3-0. Extremely aggressive hitter. Just made a mistake with the fastball up and out over the plate. Similar to the pitch he hit for a home run in game 1.
To the right side, it's Zimmerman for the second out.
First pitch in game 1 for Max Scherzer to Seager was designed to be in. Watch it leak out over the plate. Belt high. Belted to center. This one from Roark, a little higher in the zone. Too much of the plate. That is one sweet swing. Van Morrison would have called that Tupelo honey. It's so sweet. It's nice.
Here's Adrian Gonzalez with 2 away, 0 for 4 in the series opener. Tanner Roark had not allowed an extra base hit to a left-handed hitter over his last 4 starts during the regular season. Now 1-1 on Gonzalez. Left field, Worth coming in, moving to his right, and it drops in foul territory.
You guys remember when you were small, those variety packs of cereal in those little boxes? Nothing better than eating cereal out of cardboard. I call him the variety pack because he's got 5 different pitches that he's going to use to 4 different quadrants in the strike zone. Needs to move the ball around, change speeds. Stay grounded. Well, he didn't do that against Seager. When he's on, that sinker's working, he'll get ground balls. And caught looking, the comeback two-seam fastball. Start at the lefty's hit, bring it back over the plate. He gets a tremendous amount of called strikes, fooling left-handed hitters. Let's see if he goes to it right here.
The 1-2 from Roark, and Gonzalez fouls it back.
Tanner had a game back in April against Minnesota, had 32 called strikes. Hasn't shown Gonzalez yet that comeback two-seamer inside. Here it comes.
Roark off the mound, and that will end the inning. But Corey Seager, for the second straight game, has given the Los Angeles Dodgers a 1-0 first inning lead here in Washington. It's set to lead off for the Washington Nationals. Top 7, same as game 1. Bryce Harper, Jason Worth, Daniel Murphy, Anthony Rendon, Ryan Zimmerman, Danny Espinosa, new battery, Jose Lobaton, and Tanner Roark. As Turner takes a called strike. He was 0 for 3 in game 1. Drove in a run on a 4th inning sacrifice fly. Turner struck out 3 times in the opener.
Well, he saw a fastball, and that one a cutter right there. The other night, a lot of breaking pitches. Slow curveballs are what they really featured the other night against Trey Turner.
Here's
that
Kershaw.
guy right there.
Picked up the win, despite going only 5 innings in game 1.
There it is. Same thing Kershaw did. Take a little off. First pitch, they knew he was going to be taking a first pitch strike. And this is the one they want to get him out on. Look at that big loop on the curveball.
The 1-2 from Hill, missing high and away. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Rich Hill acquired on August 1st, along with Josh Reddick from the Oakland A's. Bryce Harper on deck. Hill made 6 starts for the Dodgers during the regular season. He started once in the postseason for the Cubs back in 2007. 9 years, 3 days since his first postseason start. Only Phil Niekro and Darren Oliver in the history of Major League Baseball went longer between their first and second career starts in the postseason.
Beautiful thing, right?
A lot of stickers on the suitcase between now and then, too.
Yes, 8 Major League clubs as Turner strikes out for the 4th time in the series. One away.
Well, that right there tells me a lot about Rich Hill. Go ahead, Tommy. We'll talk about him for a second. But look at his numbers right here. That strikeout, being able to throw that curveball 3-2, is going to tell you a lot of what he can do. You look at the 129 strikeouts, the opponent batting average at 195. And I think it's because his ability to throw this pitch anytime he wants to. There it is. He knows he's on.
Bryce Harper 1 for 5 in game 1. Fouls it back to the screen. 0-1.
Well, you're going to see curves from Rich Hill, no doubt about it. I've never seen a pitcher, though, who threw it from so many different angles with so many different shapes at so many different speeds. It's not just one curveball. Get ahead, because as you saw there with 2 strikes, that curveball, hitters hit 098. But it will be a bullpen game. Rich Hill has not thrown 100 pitches since way back on July 7th. Add and subtract on velocity, on the shape of the pitch is just amazing. The natural feel Rich has for spinning the baseball.
Well, the shape of pitch is a new terminology that a lot of people are using now. Hadn't really heard a lot of that before. And the shape of the pitch is basically how that ball, in my mind, how it's coming to the hitter. Before, I used to say, oh, that's a slow curveball. Oh, he took a little something off it. And now it's more, they're looking at the oval or the type of pitch that's coming into, the shaping of it from his viewpoint. Hadn't heard that much.
Now the 1-2 from Hill. Called strike 3.
Right there, you saw 3 different breaking balls to Harper. Hard, slow, slower, almost like a slider and a slurve. He mixes them up nice, Tom.
And they're snowflakes. No two are the same. And right now it's snowing curveballs in Washington. The pitch that set up this one. Watch him drop down a little lower on this one. That's a little more of a sweeping curveball. Now he comes back, more traditional, good high break on that one into the strike zone.
So 2 strikeouts for Hill here in the first inning, and Jason Worth takes a called strike, 0-1.
Well, what makes it difficult, you can sit on a curveball from most pitchers, but when he's throwing 2 or 3 different types of curveballs, it's hard to sit on one specific one because it's going to give you different speeds.
Missing away, 1-1.
And then he'll do that. See, did not lift the leg. He went with the slide step on him. So he'll do a little Johnny Cueto on you as well. He'll pause. He'll mix you different deliveries. He gets in your head quite a bit. This is pitching. This is like being in the backyard in a wiffle ball game.
Well, here's the difference here. You know, you're in jail when you get 2 strikes on Rich Hill. Not a lot of at-bats early in the count because hitters tend to take the curveball with no or 1 strike. On 2 strikes, well, you're at the mercy of Rich Hill.
There's strike 2. Remember, Clayton Kershaw struck out the side 1, 2, 3 in game 1. Turner, Harper, and Worth. Turner and Harper down on strikes in the first inning here in game 2.
And that last pitch, good example. Hitters will take that, but now the anxiety with 2 strikes changes the approach.
So Rich Hill matches Clayton Kershaw's first inning performance here on Friday night. Today it's an NLDS Game 3 doubleheader starting at 4 Eastern on TBS. Then Monday, Cubs-Giants Game 3, 9 Eastern, right here on FS1. Top of the second inning in Washington as Josh Reddick leads off against Tanner Roark. Reddick 0 for 3 in Game 1, and he fouls off the first pitch, 0-1. Reddick's numbers with the Dodgers in 47 games during the regular season following the trade from Oakland. Had a big month of September. Led all of baseball with a 400 average during the final month. Jock Peterson waiting on deck. The 1-1 to Reddick, 1-2.
Big curveball right there. You know, this summer in July, I got a chance to watch Tanner Roark throw a bullpen. And just the precision of his pitches, being able to locate in and out, hitting almost like anywhere the glove was placed. It was a fun session to sit in on.
Now keep in mind, Nationals fans and management certainly hope that it would be a combination of Scherzer and Strasburg in the first 2 games, but Steven Strasburg not available for this division series. Nationals hope to have him later on should they move on. So Roark gets the start in game 2.
Yeah, Strasburg threw a bullpen session the other day, but really about 50% effort, more of a catch, a game of catch on the mound. As you said, Kenny, they're hoping if they advance, he's available for the next round. I think that is a wishful way of thinking. Obviously, he'd love to, but the signs don't point toward it.
2-2 from Roark, and Reddick sends it into left field. Worth backpedaling, 1 away.
Well, it's quite a contrast from our Game 1 matchup between 2 Cy Young winners, Kershaw and Scherzer. Tanner Roark and Rich Hill, both formerly independent league pitchers. Roark pitched for the Southern Illinois Miners before he was drafted, and Rich Hill was an independent ball pitcher last year with the Long Island Ducks.
After Hill was in spring training with the Nationals last season, pitched for their AAA club in Syracuse, released, it was on to Long Island. Here's Jock Peterson. He takes high, ball one.
Tell you, independent baseball now has totally changed the landscape because there's not as many opportunities as guys have had in years past, and that's now become a viable place.
Up the middle. Base it into center field off the bat of Peterson. And for more on the Nationals starter, Tanner Roark, we say hello to J.P. Morosi. J.P.
Thank you, Kenny. And it was in the spring of 2008 that Tanner Roark had to actually withdraw from the University of Illinois for academic reasons. And he found that Southern Illinois club and a coach named Mike Pinto, who told him, "You're going to pitch for me until you get drafted." He did. It was 3 outings, not very good, but he impressed a scout from the Texas Rangers by the name of Derek Lee. They drafted him, traded over here in the Christian Guzman deal in July of 2010, and here he is now.
Making his first postseason start. He did appear in relief twice back in the 2014 division series, allowed that 18th inning home run to Brandon Belt in Game 2 in 2014.
I thought that was interesting. Yasmani Grandal looking to bunt right there. You got 1 out. You got a power hitter at the plate. I think this is one of those situations you got to be swinging the bat. In the National League lineup, you got Toll's up next, and then comes the pitcher. You got to take advantage of this opportunity for a guy to swing the bat right here.
Well, he knows with Roark's sinker, his ability to get a ground ball. Anything on the ground likely to be 2. And Rendon actually has rolled up a little bit closer at third base, but before that bunt attempt, possible hit was there for Grandal. You see the position of Rendon at third base. Well, remember, Tanner's pitching with 8 days of rest. He got an extra 1 yesterday because of the rain. And a lot of times, especially with a touch and field guy, sinker ball pitcher, it takes time to get your feet on the ground in terms of command. And it looks to me like that's where he is right now.
Now the 3-0 in for strike 1.
Well, if you look back that first inning, even the home run to Seager was up. And if you're talking about a sinker ball pitcher, you want the ball down. He hasn't got the ball down all game yet. He hasn't got into that groove you're talking about, Tom. But that was a better pitch. I want to see what he does 3-1. He's able to get the ball down. It looks like the guy on first might got a little bigger lead. He may be running as well.
Peterson holds, and Grandal takes ball 4. Wow. So 2 on, 1 out. Today's Keys to the Game, sponsored by the Lincoln Motor Company.
Well, yesterday was the anniversary, 60th of the greatest postseason game ever pitched, Don Larsen's perfect game. So along those lines, for the Dodgers, perfect penmanship. You saw it in Game 1. This will be a bullpen game, and they will rely early and often with those guys out there. And for the Nationals, perfect start. I really believe that they need to get a lead early in this game, down 1-0 in the series at home. Get the crowd in this game.
So here's Andrew Tolles with the pitcher Hill on deck. First and second, 1 out.
Well, this is a big at bat, Tom. You're talking about getting the lead. 1-0, you come over. But I think you got to get an out here. You put Tolles in a situation, you got to get 1 out. You got the pitcher on deck. These are the things in the National League game. You got to be able to capitalize and get out of innings. And this is how you can escape it. Get a ground ball, maybe get 1 out, and then get that pitcher.
The 0-1 from Roark. Fastball missing high, 1-1.
That was the 4-seam fastball right there. When he's good, Tanner Roark will show you that 4-seam to a left-handed hitter and then come back 2-seam it where it runs back over the plate. Get him off the plate and then get the ball over the plate.
Peterson and Grandal, the base runners. A 1-1. Foul back to the screen, 1-2.
And that's exactly what he tried to do right there. But that was a missed location. That was too good of a pitch.
You know, in this situation, I know you want to get a double play ball, but you got a guy that's not going to double up much. I would have a tendency to even back my middle infielders back up a little bit so he doesn't trickle the ball by me. I want to get one, knowing I got a pitcher on the on-deck circle where I can get that second out, that third out of the inning, I should say.
The 1-2 from Roark. And it glanced off Tolles, so he is awarded first base. And the bases are now loaded with Rich Hill coming to the plate.
Well, there's a little conversation right there. How do you want me to handle this? And he just pulled this, looked like four-seamer, and just barely nips the jersey of Tolles. Clearly, Tanner is fighting command right now.
A visit from the pitching coach, Mike Maddox.
This will be what really interesting.
Well, I would have him bunt. I mean, the worst thing, obviously, for Los Angeles is a double play ball. So even if you typically you're not going to see a bunt with the bases loaded, force play in order at the plate. But stay out of a double play.
I got to let him swing. I got a 1-0 lead already.
Hill 0 for 12 at the plate this season.
That was a hybrid. It wasn't.
Well, he tried to pull that ball to second base. Hit it on, pull a little bunt towards the second baseman. That way you're going to give Jock Peterson a chance to score. You got him pinching the corners. So right here, this is almost like pulling a bunt with you. He's trying to slap that to second base.
Corner infielders in on the grass. The 0-1 from Roark. Hill swinging away, 0-2.
I think they're way overthinking this situation.
Yeah, I think that was too cute on the first pitch. For a guy who doesn't handle the bat very well, to try to execute that is a difficult task.
Corner infielders back up a bit. And time is called by the home plate umpire, Chris Guccione. Bases loaded, 1 out. The 0-2, and Hill is down on strikes, 2 away.
Well, I do think they got a little cute. The first pitch, he threw him that breaking ball. I think they were anticipating the fastball. If he gets it, he's able to pull the bunt with him. But if you got a chance to put the ball in play, you still got to force the defense to do something. But that's the National League game in a way, too.
The good news is they didn't hit into a double play. They get Utley up at the plate here with a chance to get the hit.
True. But you know what, Tom, though? I like that in the National League, you think more. You don't know what's going to happen. You just don't. American League, that guy's swinging.
So here's Utley, fly to left, his first time up. Bases loaded, 2 outs. Dodgers with a 1-0 lead, and Utley takes strike 1.
This is a big at bat for the Nationals. Utley gets a base hit or hits a gapper. It's going to be tough to get back in this game.
We see the infield playing a little more honest against Utley. Dead pull hitter. We've seen more extreme hit shifts against him. You have to honor the changeup that works down and away from Roark to protect a little bit more the left side of the field. Chase Utley saying that ball hit me.
I think that's reviewable, right?
Chris Guccione says, I didn't hear anything. I didn't see anything. Let's see if we see anything.
Well, the only thing I can look for is if the ball changes directions. Whenever you get those balls that close.
Yeah, I didn't see anything, and the Dodgers are looking at it right now, deciding whether they want to challenge, it is reviewable. But based on what I saw right there, unless they have a better angle, I didn't see the ball change direction.
Nah, that doesn't look like it hit him.
One ball, one strike, bases loaded, 2 outs.
That's where Utley lulls you to sleep, though. You better lock back in, Tanner Roark.
Strike 2. One for 14 lifetime against Tanner Roark. Fans rise here in Washington. Two and two.
Tanner really hasn't established into the lefties yet. He's thrown some nice backdoor breaking balls. But owning glove side on lefties hasn't really happened yet.
Yeah, and I don't know if I flirt around with Chase Utley on the inside half. I want him to chase a ball and make him hit that ball the other way. He is so good on the ball inside, and that's where the damage is going to come. He's not going to drive a ball to left field or left center, but you pitch him inside and let him get that bat head out, he will drive a ball to the right side of the field.
Let's see if they put a sign down here after that conversation. Runner on second has seen a lot of pitches in this sequence.
And he's a catcher.
No sign. They talked about it. Good to go.
The 2-2 from Roark. Bounce to the right side. And that will do it for the Dodgers. They strand the bases loaded in the top of the second inning. Severe weather and disasters need help now. To support folks impacted by Hurricane Matthew, text Matthew to 90999 to donate $10 to American Red Cross Hurricane Relief. Here's Daniel Murphy. He leads off for the Washington Nationals in the bottom of the second inning against Rich Hill. And Murphy on the first pitch with a single into center field after Hill struck out the side in order in the bottom of the first inning.
That almost looked like an excuse me swing. That didn't look like a full rip. But sometimes it's about placement. He just flipped that ball out there.
Well, look at his lower half. It barely moves. Great balance. I mean, he's just a great hitter all around. Terrific fastball hitter, but the balance allows him to stay back on a first pitch breaking ball.
So the leadoff man on for the Nationals here in the second as Anthony Rendon steps to the plate. 2 hits, and he drove in a couple of runs in the third inning on Friday night.
I think this is the biggest difference of the turnaround for Rich Hill is the game being played now. There's not a lot of running. They don't put pressure on him. So it allows him to continue to throw all those slow breaking balls because nobody's going to steal on him. But if he was getting a little more pressure from base runners, now you can't throw that slow sweeping hook every pitch because somebody's going to run. He's taking advantage of it.
So last time Murphy tried to run, representing the tying run late in the game, ran on his own and got thrown out. And as he said, there are only 2 options there. Don't run at all or be safe.
That was in the 7th inning in game 1.
It's a big play in that game.
Huge play. Dodgers were surprised that he ran.
Murphy, coming off the injury, was making his first start in 3 weeks on Friday night. 2-2 on Rendon. Murphy, the runner on first, no outs. Bottom of the second inning in Washington. As Rendon takes a called strike 3. Fourth strikeout for Rich Hill.
So masterful in how he uses all his pitches. He gets so deep in the hitter's head. Here's a look at Bryce Harper's at bat in the first inning. He does such a great job with all the different breaking balls he throws. Okay, there's a fastball right down the middle, and then here comes the hooks. A breaking ball away, a little slower that time. 75, that one a little bit faster. But it's the variation of the breaks that you see. Here they are all at one time, and he gets that release point. Now you got to figure out which one are you going to see. Deceptive.
Pitchcast powered by MLB Advanced Media. Hill now facing Ryan Zimmerman, who is 6 for 9 with 2 home runs in his career against Rich Hill. Most hits against Hill among active players.
A really good breaking ball hitter. Uses the heaviest bat on the team. 35.5 inches, 33.5 ounces.
First ever draft pick in the history of the Washington Nationals after their move from Montreal.
He's had a nice career. Courtesy look. Look, Rich Hill very intelligent, and he understands that if he can hold runners, he can still continue to stay in his game. We watched it. Now he's got Zimmerman in a 2-0 count. You talked about how well he's hit him. I think he's going off speed again. Because of the throw over. Once he throws over, he wanted to freeze the runner so he can come back with something soft to the hitter. I got a green light Zimmerman right here. You're not going to get many opportunities. Would you, Tom?
Oh, absolutely. Veteran hitter, smart hitter. It's not going to chase, just keyhole fastball.
Zimmerman started down towards first, but Chris Guccione says stay right here.
That was about 3 steps. It was a traveling violation on Ryan Zimmerman. He thinks for sure this ball just keeps going inside. You see Hill missed the target. Grandal does a nice job of framing this ball. You saw the way Grandal got his hand around the baseball and showed it towards the inside of the zone. Instead of just palm out, just turn that hand a little bit to turn the ball into the zone.
Saw Dusty Baker's reaction. Now the 3-1. And there is ball 4. So Zimmerman will head down to first.
I thought it was interesting on that pitch there. Murphy was running on the ball either because he saw the break and it was going to be in the dirt, or he was going to delay, but he was going to be moving on that 3-1 pitch. They got to do something to get the game going.
And they need to do something to get Danny Espinosa going. The game seemed to find him in Game 1, all the key at-bats. And his swing recently has gotten very long. You see the power numbers, terrific for a middle infielder especially. But lately, he has been slumping.
Well, and this could be the perfect guy. I mean, if you're going to hit Rich Hill, you got to do 2 things. One, you got to get on top of the plate. His fastball is not going to throw by you. And you got to think about shooting that ball the other way. Dare him to bust you inside and look to shoot him to right. And react inside if he comes in. That's how you got to hit him.
He's a dead pull hitter. You can see the way they defend Danny Espinosa. Not his game going the other way.
Struck out 3 times in Game 1, each time with 2 men on base. Twice he ended the inning. Feast or famine during the regular season. Espinosa 24 home runs, but he was also second in the league in strikeouts.
No, I very well. You guys have both said exactly what has been happening. The ball's finding him. I like that, Tom, your point. You said the situations have found him. He has to do something with these opportunities. But the way he sets up, he's so far off the plate that Rich Hill can basically do anything he wants to do. He's back and he's off the plate. So now he's really susceptible to breaking ball, and they want him to roll over and get a double play ball. That's what they're trying to do.
Espinosa hit by the pitch. Bases loaded.
And that was a setup pitch to waste to come back to get that ground ball, and he missed his spot.
Well, it was interesting to me, talking to some of the Nationals, they thought if they got to Rich Hill early, they could get him rattled. We saw the first strikeout of the game, the emotional outburst from Rich Hill. He's an emotional guy, there's no doubt about it. We saw that one batter into the game. But right here, he's going to have to control his emotions in a jam.
Dodgers loaded the bases in the top of the second inning. Now it's the Nationals with the bases full in the bottom half. Jose Lobaton starting behind the plate here in Game 2. Washington without the injured Wilson Ramos. It was Pedro Severino in Game 1, but Lobaton with more experience catching Tanner Roark, so he was in the starting lineup today. Knocked down by Hill, the toss to the plate, and now the throw to first for the inning-ending double play. We talked about the emotion, and we saw the emotion demonstrated by Hill. 1-0 Dodgers. Corey Seager leading off for the Dodgers. Here in the top of the third inning. Seager with the solo shot in the first. Has gone deep in the first inning in each of the first 2 games of this series.
Well, the interesting thing is they haven't got to a count where he has to hit anything off speed. Been all over the fastballs.
Worth moving to his left. 1 away.
Well, let's go back and look at that play that ended the last half inning. Rich Hill knocks the ball down. I liked how he took his time, flipped the ball to the catcher, and Grandal made a nice throw to first base.
Well, Kenny, you mentioned that Lobaton had caught Roark more, but Severino caught him twice. Lobaton only 3 times this year. That's not enough of a difference for me. Now, he was 3 for 3 against Rich Hill. That's a very small sample. The way that Severino swung the bat in Game 1, for me, he's got to be in the game. I mean, he had really good swings against Clayton Kershaw. And Lobaton's had some issues from the right side of the plate recently because of some physical issues, where he's not the same hitter from the right side. I know the Dodgers were surprised that Severino was not in the starting lineup.
Now the 0-1 to Turner, in for called strike 2. Turner went deep in the third inning on Friday night, which gave the Dodgers a 4-0 lead.
And he's jumped on a couple breaking balls in this series, and one of the best breaking ball hitters in the big leagues. You see now challenging with the fastball a lot more.
Gonzalez on deck, 1 out. Top of the third here in Washington, 2-2.
Now that's about the 5th fastball Roark has just pulled to glove side. Guy who likes to set up on the third base side of the rubber, crossfire delivery, but he has not found the release point to find glove side of the plate.
The 2-2 from Roark, missing low and away, and the count is full.
Well, with all his struggles, he's been able to wiggle out of really the trouble he's been in, making that one pitch he needs to make when he needs to make it.
Payoff pitch to Turner. Fastball missing high, ball 4. Second walk issued by Roark as we check in with JP.
Kenny, we noticed Lobaton running to first base rather slowly. There's a reason for that. He hurt his right ankle a few weeks ago at Turner Field, falling down a flight of stairs in the clubhouse. Now, I asked him if he got an MRI on that ankle. He said, no, I don't want to know right now how badly it's injured, but it's good enough for me to catch.
All right, thanks, JP. We saw Wilson Ramos. He threw out the first pitch prior to game 1. But unfortunately for the Nationals, except for the injury late in the regular season.
Yeah, and the Dodgers are not a team that steals bases, but that ankle has affected the throwing of Lobaton. Balls have been tailing to the second base side of second base, just not able to really push off that right ankle.
Five straight balls thrown by Roark. And now the 1-0 to Gonzalez. And he has his first hit of the series in 6 at-bats as Turner moves to second. Dodgers threatening once again here in the 3rd inning.
You know, Adrian makes as good adjustments as anybody. You can't pitch him the same way every time. They've been pounding pitches away. Eventually he's going to take the ball and take what you give me and continue to move the line on. When you know you have a Josh Reddick and a Jock Peterson coming up after you, yeah, you'll take that single and take that ball the opposite way. Look at this ball. It's a fastball away. Stays with it. Look at how long he let the ball carry back into the strike zone. But look at his head. How he keeps his head down and just drives the ball to left field for the hit.
Well, Howard, we talked about that in game 1. These two different hitters. Bases empty, pull power hitter. Put runners on, high average hitter who uses the whole field. And until Tanner Roark starts to establish fastballs in, you'll see the Dodgers continue to look out over the plate.
Reddick with a drive to right. Here's Turner around third, heading home. And he is safe.
That's what's tough with that catcher's mitt. Ball just a little bit up the line as Lobaton went to get it and try to spin back. When you're spinning back and you got that little small glove, you have to be perfect. I like the challenge. You're not going to get a lot of opportunities to score runs in the playoff games. Harper comes up strong, took his time, set up, made the throw, and now here's the play. He got stuck as he started to spin around with the ball. Watch his glove get caught almost in the ground. This is the second part of it, and by now he's lost the baseball.
They have to challenge that.
I think the ball's already behind him. The ball's already behind him. It's not in the glove by the time he tagged it.
Well, you mentioned it was a good send, but I don't think last year that's a send on Bryce Harper. With 1 out, 2 out, sure, I get it. Dodgers came into this series based on their scouting reports that they were going to challenge Bryce Harper. And only 2 weeks ago, he was playing so shallow in the outfield. He had 4 balls hit over his head in 1 series, protecting against throwing, which hasn't been up to par for him this year because of assorted injuries. Good velocity on that throw, but the scouting report, I think, influenced the send right there.
Oh, no doubt about it. But here's the tag at the plate. Here's the throw coming in. Now watch, he's going to go scoop. The ball gets caught in the ground back behind him.
Yep.
And that's where he lost the ball. If he could have brought that glove around without touching the dirt, I think he's got to play. But it gets stuck in the dirt, and now that knocks the ball out. Right there. Got caught as he was coming around.
Yeah, good call. We couldn't see the ball from the other angle. He's got an empty glove right there. I still like the matrix slide of Justin Turner right there. And he's making the call himself, too. Score the run, make the call, celebrate. Nice job.
Following the intentional walk to Peterson, another visit from Mike Maddox. As Grandal will step to the plate with the bases loaded. Dodgers loading the bases for the second consecutive inning. 2 hits, 2 walks, 1 intentional. Here's Grandal, who walked his first time up.
Well, you just wonder how long they're going to let him go and continue to have pressure. Now we're starting to see a little action in that bullpen, but you can't continue to sit here and let them keep shooting bullets at you and see eventually those are going to fall in. Can't get away from you too much. And I'm looking at the alignment of the defense too, and you got Zimmerman playing up, and I would not have him playing this close. Now a ball shoots by him. Grandal pulls the ball too hard too often. I'd like to back him up and make sure I don't allow a big inning to happen. If I get a force at home, great.
One ball, 2 strike count. 1 out. Bases loaded. Grandal at the plate. Tolles waiting on deck. A 1-2 from Roark. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Tom, that's the pitch you're talking about.
He just can't get the ball on that side of the plate where he wants to. That's why I think you've seen these Dodger hitters really looking away and haven't had to respect ball in. Typically, he brings that pitch back over the plate. That is the strike looking that he wants to get and has gotten when he's on. Not on right now.
2-2 on the ground to the right side. And the Nationals turn 2. The 4-6-3 double play to end the inning. Live every postseason moment with MLB.com at bat, the #1 app for live baseball. It's the only place to get it all. Live radio feeds, video highlights, pitch tracking, StatCast, and much more. Download At Bat today. Rich Hill pitching with a 2-0 lead. Tanner Roark batting for the first time. Helped out by that double play to end the previous half inning. Roark 8 hits this season in 64 at bats, 125 batting average.
No pitcher's code here. No respect. Hey, Tanner, take a look at this. Hit this one. He's going to wear those slow curve balls out. The hook master.
Strikeout number 5 for Rich Hill.
Well, talking about the breaking ball, let's go back to the second inning. He's starting to get in the groove with the hook. Look at all the different breaks he has on the curveball. Show you that because Trey Turner's coming up, and he has seen nothing but a steady diet of breaking pitches to get him out. Saw the first pitch heater, his first at bat, then they went breaking balls to get him out. Those are the different hooks that he'll be contending with.
Pitch cast powered by MLB Advanced Media. Trey Turner struck out his first time up. Now 0 for 4 in the series with 4 strikeouts.
Well, I started off by saying Rich Hill has a natural ability to spin the baseball. His curve is amazing. What's more amazing, he's actually right-handed. I'm not lying.
I'm rubbing my eyes right now because I see a lefty.
But he's a natural right-hander at the age of 6. His first glove was on his left hand. He threw right-handed. He has an older brother, John, who's 14 years older, was a gymnast. That's a hit.
Got past the diving Seager. First hit of the series for Trey Turner. First career postseason hit.
And like a lot of kids, Rich said, I want to be a major league player when I grow up. Well, his brother John, I guess smart enough to understand the fastest way to get to the big leagues is as a left-handed pitcher. He actually took some of his gymnastics tape. Yeah, he put his right hand behind his back. At 6 years old, that's when Rich Hill began to throw left-handed. And here he is in the big leagues. A natural right-hander with one of the best left-handed curveballs in the game.
And that's the story. Wow. Good stuff.
I've only heard something similar like that with two players. Billy Wagner, great relief pitcher, broke his arm, right arm as a young kid, learned how to throw left-handed. And Eduardo Rodriguez of the Boston Red Sox, same, was a right-handed thrower, broke his right elbow as a 7-year-old, and became a left-handed thrower.
Now the game gets interesting with Trey Turner on first base. See the attention. But also, I talked about earlier, how do you take away that breaking ball from Rich Hill, the righty that's now a lefty? You get somebody on base who can run. And one of the reasons Dusty Baker wanted Harper hitting second is he felt like he would get more fastballs to hit, hitting behind Turner. There's one.
I'm not sure that's a good thing. Bryce, one of the best curveball hitters in the game. We talked at the top about his trouble with the fastballs up. I don't think the idea of getting this guy more fastballs, the way the Dodgers have executed up and away, is a good thing.
I don't know. I think I want fastballs. I understand what you're saying, but kind of nice to get a heater if you know it.
Here it's coming again.
Here's the 0-1 from Hill.
They have just pounded that location. You may as well put a bullseye out there.
And the danger with that location, as you see here, the fastball up and away, it's almost like a pitch out. So it's twofold for the Dodgers. We can pitch up and away, and if Turner runs, now your catcher's able to put himself in a position to throw to second.
Base runners are 7 out of 10 this year on Rich Hill. It's about major league average percentage-wise.
You see immediately how that base runner has taken Rich Hill to a different game. That was a little hard slider on a slide step. A lot more fastballs. We're not seeing that looping slow curve.
And the base runner is Trey Turner, who stole 32 bases since the All-Star break. Harper takes strike 2.
That was a tough pitch. He tried to hang. You see how long Bryce tried to hang in there? And it broke so late.
Trey Turner, a 1-out single. Bryce Harper at the plate. 2-ball, 2-strike count, 1 away. Swing and a miss by Harper. He strikes out for the second time today.
Well, he's a 2-pitch pitcher. But that curveball has multiple pitches in one. Started him off with fastballs, and now he's going to go to the diet of breaking balls. Each one, again, with a different shape and on both sides of the plate. And that one you saw him drop down for the first time. So, yeah, he threw him 3 curveballs in a row. None of them looked alike.
And you know what was great by Rich Hill? He gave Trey Turner different looks on his delivery every time. He did a nice job of mixing it up and freezing him as a base runner. So he gave him a look where he looked at him and he went slide step. He stepped over, threw a couple times. Then Then he took a little longer on his delivery. Those are problematic for a base runner. All you're trying to do is get in a good rhythm and get something you see consistently and then break.
Worth fouls it back.
Boy, Turner was going back to first base on that one. I mean, in a normal situation, he's been gone long ago, but he is, Harold, you're right, getting a tough time reading Rich Hill. When you're jumping back to the plate and the ball's on, or jumping back to the base and the ball's on the way to the plate, you have no idea.
The 1-1 to Worth, who struck out his first time up, now 1-2. Top of the order for the Nationals in this series. Turner, Harper, Worth. Just 3 for 17. 11 strikeouts. Each of the 3 with 1 base hit.
I mean, you're not going to beat Kershaw and Hill by stringing hits together. You look at the batting averages against these two guys, left-handers. Kershaw in game 1, Hill here in game 2. Take advantage of mistakes, walks, run the bases aggressively, hope they make a mistake you can hit out of the park, but to think you're going to string hits together against these two lefties, I think is asking too much.
Called strike 3.
Wow, the balance of Rich Hill on that. He gave a freeze. Turner looked like he was going to run. He held him and was able to get the strikeout. Amazing.
DS Game 3 doubleheader starting at 4 Eastern on TBS. Then Monday, Cubs Giants Game 3, 9 Eastern on FS1, with the Cubs leading that series 2-0. Andrew Tolles leading off for the Dodgers here in the top of the 4th inning against Tanner Roark. Tolles hit by a pitch in the second. Dodgers loaded the bases in each of the last 2 innings, but came away with only 1 run. They left 5 men on base in the second and third.
Elimination games already. Amazing. I didn't think any of those series would be at this point. Even the Cubs, I didn't think it was going to be 2-0.
All 3 at 2-0. Dodgers hoping to take a 2-0 lead here today. Game 3 tomorrow at Dodger Stadium. And we have just been told, guys, that the Red Sox and Indians game postponed due to weather.
Still 2-0.
Tanner Roark grew up a Cubs fan. About an hour outside of Chicago. Small town called Wilmington. Population of about 5,000. You ever see the movie Planes, Trains, and Automobiles?
Oh, yeah.
The bus station filmed in Wilmington.
Is that right?
Yeah. I got to make mention that Tanner has a pitching coach very close to throughout high school, even to this day. A guy by the name of Les Russell, who's worked with him all these years, really helped him make who he is as a pitcher. And he's the one who taught him about using all quadrants of the strike zone and changing speeds. Told me Les used to always tell him 1 high, 1 low, 1 hard, 1 slow. And that still goes through his mind when he's out there on a major league mound.
He was also an all-state quarterback in high school. Played basketball, wrestled. As Tolles fouls it back.
To this day in the offseason, when he's in Wilmington, Tanner's dad will say, let's go to Tuffy's Lounge at noon in the afternoon. Tuffy's in Wilmington, Illinois, because that's where Les will be having his coffee. And they'll just sit there at Tuffy's and talk pitching. True mentor.
Perhaps Les is at Tuffy's watching the game today.
Say, Les probably was ready to dial him up after the first couple innings. Starting to settle in a little bit now. You're seeing the movement on his ball a little bit better.
And one thing Tanner's always done throughout this season, he gets better as the game goes on. Most pitchers, the 3rd time around the lineup is when you really have to keep a close eye on them. Tanner gets better. The numbers go down the more he sees hitters.
9th pitch of the at-bat to Andrew Tolles. What a win.
Hey, let's go back to this, what I was marveling about Rich Hill as he comes to the plate to hit. But watch this freeze on Trey Turner, trying to get a read. Watch Rich Hill pause, read him, and go back to the plate. Not many pitchers can do that. Most left-handers already have their mind made up. I'm going home or I'm going to first base after they get that sign, they're ready to deliver the pitch. Here he is, a nice bunt hit. We'll see what happens. Got him.
Hill on at first.
That's the bunt he was trying to do the first at bat with the bases loaded. He wanted to pull that ball right to second base, and this time he was able to execute it.
Speed kills. Rich Hill down the line, moving pretty good. Put enough pressure on Daniel Murphy that Murph couldn't get it cleanly.
It's ruled a base hit.
That's a play Murphy's got to make, though. Here's the first one, okay? The base is loaded. He tried to bring it to him. He didn't get the ball out front. This is the base hit coming up, and you'll get a chance to see the difference. Now watch him get that ball out front, bring it towards the second baseman. You want to shoot it past the pitcher, then it's a foot race. But Murphy's got to make that play. He tried to rush a little bit.
Now I'm with you. He's got to make that play. To me, that's an error. Play that should have been made should be an error.
Remember Murphy in the postseason last year, tremendous at the plate, but did have his issues in the field for the New York Mets.
You got to give a little credit to the pitcher here, put a little pressure on you.
No, I do. That was my first reaction. That's a pitcher running down the line, giving you a hard 90 feet. But again, he had time. Cleanly, if he makes that play cleanly, he's got an out.
Chase Utley 0 for 2 today. One out base runner for the Dodgers. Zimmerman knocks it down, could not get it out of his glove initially. Gets the out at first as Hill advances.
I thought they played that perfectly, too. Zimmerman's playing behind Hill, so he's already turned towards the hitter and just was not able to catch this ball. Now, remember, he's had some shoulder problems with his throw, too. But they got a position perfect. The one hop, going to be a double play ball. But he took out the Chase Utley to get the out anyway. At least you got something out of it.
So a runner in scoring position for the Dodgers. 2 outs. Here's Seager.
That, I think, is the first pitch he wanted to throw of the game, not the one at his head. He wanted to get that ball down and in. Trying to stay in on him. The home runs have both been balls that have been away, and he's been able to take them out of the park. You want to stay in on his hands if you can.
Seager with the first inning home run, becoming the 3rd Dodger all-time to go deep in the first 2 games of a postseason series. Manny Ramirez in 2008 and Davey Lopes, the first base coach of the Washington Nationals back in 1981 in the NLCS. And one more note, guys, on that Seager home run. Only one other time in postseason history has a player hit a first inning home run in the first 2 games of that given postseason. Danny Ford, 1979 for the Angels.
Disco Danny Ford.
Disco Danny.
Wow, I hadn't heard that name in a while.
Memorial Stadium in Baltimore. He took Jim Palmer deep and then the late Mike Flanagan. So Danny Ford and Corey Seager, first inning home runs in the first 2 games of a postseason.
I bet you Jim Palmer can tell you the pitch, the count, everything. I don't know if I flirt around with Seager 3-1 right here.
Full count. Game 1 first inning, Max Scherzer.
See that ball out over the plate. And then today 3-0, I think he ambushed him here. Got a ball again out over the plate and into the seats.
Yeah, that's why that last pitch, that 3-1 pitch, was very dangerous. Very similar spot. He's got to go off speed here.
Walk him, no big deal.
Payoff pitch from Roark. Zimmerman has it to the bag to end the inning. Middle of the fourth in Washington, game 2. 2-0 Dodgers. Leading the Nationals 2-0. Rich Hill with 7 strikeouts, guys, over the first 3 innings. And that is a franchise postseason record dating back to the Brooklyn days. And it matches a major league record set by 16 other pitchers. 7 strikeouts over the first 3 innings in a postseason game.
Really impressive stuff. I just like how he handles each situation and all the different pitches he throws. You know, talking with him the other day, it was almost like he has learned so much, and it's almost like he throws 10 or 11 or 15 different pitches. It might be called a curveball, might be called a slider, but he may have 2 or 3 different breaks on each one of them. To me, that adds up to different pitches, and that's what the Nationals have been trying to figure out today.
Well, his career really changed after that stint with the Long Island Ducks when he went back to throwing overhand, wanted to commit to being a starting pitcher. And he wound up with the Boston Red Sox. Actually had gone home to pitch to his former American Legion team in Milton, Massachusetts to redevelop the overhand delivery and get the body strong enough to start. Red Sox signed him.
Now 2-1 on Murphy. We mentioned he was in spring training with the Nationals last year. Pitched for their AAA affiliate in Syracuse before he was released in late June.
When we signed with the Red Sox, it was Brian Bannister, their analytics director, pitching analytics director, who convinced them that, hey, you don't have to pitch off your fastball. He said Clayton Kershaw, the best pitcher in the game, he doesn't throw fastballs more than 45% of the time. It's actually about 51% if you want to be exact. But it struck Rich Hill that his curveball is so good, he doesn't have to use the fastball a lot. And now it's about 50-50.
Ball 4 to Murphy. Leadoff walk here in the fourth. It has been quite the journey for Rich Hill following 3 years at the University of Michigan. Drafted 3 times by major league clubs. He's been sent to the minor leagues 8 times, placed on the disabled list 8 times, designated for assignment twice, released twice, traded 3 times. And who was his first manager in the big leagues? Dusty Baker with the Cubs back in 2005 and 2006. We asked Dusty about him. He said he's a much different pitcher than he was when I had him in Chicago.
Well, I think the curveball he's always had, but now it's better than ever, his command of it. He throws his curveball like Sandy Koufax, where it's really done with the middle finger on the long seam of the baseball, just on the inside of this long seam. And a lot of pitchers will use the curveball not only pulling down with the finger, but pushing up with the thumb. But like Sandy Koufax, he does not push up with the thumb. The thumb is basically a rudder. It's all with that middle finger generating spin on the baseball.
Rendon, deep right center. And the catch is made by the right fielder, Reddick, for out number 1.
The other key is what he does. It's all in the grip, where it's so far deep in his hand. It's so deep in his hand that when he throws bullpen sessions and Rick Honeycutt, the pitching coach, is next to him, he can hear the baseball squeaking in his hand. The grip is so tight on the ball. And he said once he gets the grip set, there's the squeaking. Once he gets the grip set, you do not have to start manipulating your wrist because you just trust the grip. And the other thing is when you don't use that thumb to pull up on the baseball, now the ball is not flipping up out of the hand where a hitter can read it out of the hand. If you just emphasize the downward movement of the index finger, it will look more like a fastball coming out of the hand. Deception starts early.
Now, I think we should have a next thing, a disclaimer saying don't try this at home for little kids. That's pretty good stuff, Tom.
I'm glad you brought that up, Harold, because Rich Hill did not start throwing a curveball until he was 17 years old. See, there's the grip. You see that middle finger on the long seam of the baseball. The thumb is just a rudder. It's not pushing up. And you see the ball doesn't flip out of the hand right away. The big curveballs, a lot of times it comes up right away. He's trying to make it look like a fastball.
You mentioned Sandy Koufax. He is here in Washington with the Dodgers. 3 days ago, Thursday, October 6th, was the 50th anniversary of his last game in the major leagues. 1966 World Series against the Orioles. His opponent on the mound in Game 2 that day, 20-year-old Jim Palmer. So 50 years and 3 days ago, the last time Sandy Koufax took the mound as a major league pitcher.
And Vin Scully is probably calling that game, right?
Absolutely.
That's what's amazing. Two things. One, Sandy doesn't look like he's that old.
No.
And two, imagining Vin still calling games that long ago.
Nor does Jim Palmer.
True. That's true.
And 50 years ago today was Game 4 as the Orioles swept the Dodgers up the road in Baltimore at Memorial Stadium. Frank Robinson taking Don Drysdale deep for the only run of that game. 50 years ago today, Orioles swept the Dodgers.
Wow. Quite a history lesson. And all that said, Rendon got a pitch and drove it to right field, and the ball's not carrying. The wind knocked it down. That was the first guy that I've really seen have an approach to take Rich Hill the opposite way. If they continue to try to pull the ball on this guy, they're going to continue to struggle. Maybe with the exception of the guy at the plate who's had great numbers against him.
Espinosa on deck. There's Harper in the Washington dugout. Murphy the runner on first, one out. 2-2 to Zimmerman. Broken bat, right center. Reddick, 2 away.
Well, you know, Harold, part of hitting is you begin to group pitchers and stuff together. Who does he throw like? What's the movement on his pitches? Who does he remind you of? Well, Rich Hill is an outlier. The way he uses his stuff and just the quality of his stuff is really unlike anybody in baseball. So he's brand new when you see him. And trying to solve him, as we're seeing here today, difficult task for the Nationals.
Espinosa hit by a pitch, his first time up. Murphy a leadoff walk, couple of flyouts. And Espinosa, for the second time today, hit by the pitch from Rich Hill.
Well, you throw at my shortstop, I'll throw at yours. They've thrown 2 balls at Seager. I'm not saying it was intentional, but it's pretty good intent. This guy's got great control.
That's the 4th hit batsman of this series in 13 innings.
Well, I mean, look, you throw a ball over Seager's head, you throw one that flips him at his feet, so you throw one at their shortstop and send a message. Look, I got the catcher and the pitcher coming up next. My pitcher's on the hill. He's got great control. That's just how I see it. I could be totally off base, but I got to protect my superstar.
I think you saw earlier when that first pitch to Corey Seager, the Dodgers bench looked like they actually gave Tanner Roark a little bit of heat for that pitch. And he literally was laughing about it because I've said from the beginning, Tanner Roark has had trouble establishing glove side of the plate. He lost the pitch in, as he's lost many pitches on that side of the plate today.
Well,
and he's shaking his head like, come on, guys, are you kidding me? I'm not trying to throw at him. I'm already in trouble.
Pitchers always do that. I think like a hitter. I don't think like a pitcher. Just saying, hitters always think that.
Here's Lobaton with 2 on, 2 out.
Here's the pitch to Seager. First pitch. Move him off his feet. They already thrown one over his head. And
watch this reaction by Tanner. Come on, you guys kidding me? I'm cleaning it up a little bit here.
You don't get that reaction. I don't think you get any. If he doesn't homer twice, and get 2 balls thrown at him, then you may not have any conversation at all. But he did, so we do.
And by the way, Espinosa, who's been hit twice today, hit by a pitch 20 times during the regular season. First switch hitter in baseball history. At least 20 home runs. And hit by a pitch at least 20 times in the same season. First 20-20 man.
That's pretty rare.
The painful 2020.
And this one is well hit. Deep left field. Tolles back on the track. It's gone. A 3-run home run off the bat of Jose Lobaton. And the Washington Nationals have their first lead of the series.
Well, Tom, one of your keys was you have to get ahead, get this crowd into it, right? That got them into it.
What a great game. The first time Lobaton comes up, hit a curveball about, I don't know, 51 feet. Couldn't break a pane of glass. Just hit one right there that broke the game open.
It's his second career postseason home run. He hit a walk-off home run for the Tampa Bay Rays against Koji Uehara back in 2013.
Curveball up.
Got a curveball up and hit it into a 20-mile-an-hour wind. You know, we saw a couple balls get knocked down. That ball was carried.
When we spoke to Dusty Baker about the change from Severino to Lobaton, he mentioned that he has a little more experience catching Roark. He said he's having trouble running due to some recent injuries. He struggled to hit against right-handed pitching, but he takes the lefty hill deep. A 3-run shot here in the bottom of the 4th inning.
Well, so often the managers know their players a lot better than we do.
Yes, sir.
And that's the beauty of the game.
And now Roark on the payoff pitch from Hill, pops it up to the right side. Gonzalez makes the play, but the Nationals take the lead. Jose Lobaton, 3-run shot. 3-2 Washington. Jose Lobaton has given the Washington Nationals a 3-2 lead. Nationals had only 1 hit in the inning, but they score 3 runs, a walk and a hit batsman. And now it is Justin Turner who leads off the top of the 5th inning for the Dodgers with a base hit into center field.
Well, we mentioned about getting to Rich Hill, right? Don't string hits together. It rarely happens. Take advantage of mistakes. A walk, the hit by pitch, and a mistake curveball. Cashed it in for 3 runs.
The other thing I'm looking at right now, with the shadow starting to creep in also, you want to try to get as many runs on that board early before you start getting 1 to the bullpens, and 2, that shadow starts affecting the game, because it's going to be very difficult to hit in the next hour or so in this ballpark when those shadows get in there.
Adrian Gonzalez 1 for 2. Nothing in 2 on Gonzalez. Reddick on deck.
Well, this is a big at-bat. You got him 0-2. You want to try to get him to roll over on something, maybe double him up, because Josh Reddick, he struggled when he first got to L.A., and it looks like he's starting to come out of his woes a little bit. And maybe that's why you see the left-hander warming up in the bullpen. They got a ton of lefties in this Dodger lineup. This is critical right here, this part of the order.
Zepchinski up in the Nationals pen. The 0-2 from Roark, missing high. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
That's where I talked about how he gets better. Most pitchers, exactly the opposite. Third time through the order, that's nervous time for a manager, when to get a pitcher out. A little more confidence that Roark can work through based on those numbers.
Well, I think the Dodgers have let him hang around a little longer. He's really struggled early in the game. And Tom, I thought you made a great point. The 8 days off with the sinker ball pitcher, everything was up. Now in the last inning or a half, he's been getting the ball down. And as a result, he's got some double play balls, starting to get some grounders. And he's starting to get into the groove of what you would hope to see, or probably would see, on a normal rotation rest for Tanner Roark. So all that said, he's falling into himself now, Ken. All that said. Got that? Got it.
There's Turner creeping off first. One-two to Gonzalez. Center field, Trey Turner. 1 out.
It's been much better this inning, especially against Gonzalez, getting the ball to the glove side.
So now Josh Reddick, who drove in the Dodgers' second run back in the 3rd inning. Dusty Baker's Nationals with a 3-2 lead. 1 out. Top of the 5th in Washington. And Reddick with a bloop into left field for a base hit. Turner moves to second.
Reddick's starting to get it going. That wasn't blistered, but it's another hit. And I think that's important for the Dodgers as they continue to move through this whole thing. Here comes Dusty.
And he calls for the left-hander. So that will be all for Tanner Roark. Does not make it out of the 5th in his first career postseason start. He does leave with a 3-2 lead. Receives a nice ovation from the crowd here at Nationals Park. Without a run of the 1st, a run of the 3rd, his battery mate has put the Nationals ahead. Nationals who lead the Dodgers 3-2. Tanner Roark goes 4 1/3. Allowed 2 runs on 7 hits, 3 walks, 1 strikeout through 85 pitches. 2 base runners are his responsibility. And there's Mike Maddox, the pitching coach, heading out to the mound.
A visit before the pitch. Okay, here's what Puig does.
You don't see that every day.
You got Yasiel Puig coming up. You got Grandal. You know.
It's interesting. Obviously, Dusty Baker wanted Zepchinski on Puig because you knew Dave Roberts was going to hit for Peterson. Rather than having Roark on Peterson, he wanted Zepchinski on Puig. They have not faced one another.
AT&T call to the bullpen. Nationals made the AT&T call to the bullpen. It's Zepchinski, who started the season in Oakland, won a World Series title with the Cardinals back in 2011, native of Anaheim, California. And he will face Puig, who entered game 1, was not in the starting lineup in the 6th inning, and was intentionally walked twice on Friday night.
He'll get the swing here.
Facing Zepchinski for the first time with 2 on, 1 out. Takes ball 1.
That's the sinker of Zepchinski, sinker slider pitcher, looking to get Puig to roll over on a ground ball.
Puig's numbers for his promotion to AAA Oklahoma City. Swung the bat better following his return.
Well, I always think that the hitter, the pitcher has more of an advantage than the hitter when you haven't never seen him before. You don't know how his ball's going to move. You can have all the videotapes, scouting reports, conversations, but until you get in that batter's box, you don't really know what a guy has. Now, Puig's in a nice situation. He's 2-0, but you don't know if he'll throw you something off speed to get you to ground over or whatever it might be.
That's the first strike Puig has seen in this series. The 2 intentional walks, 10 straight balls. Finally a strike.
And it's actually a good take. 2-0 changeup. Wanted him to roll over it, thinking he might be aggressive, looking for the fastball.
Roark can only watch. The 2-1 from Zepchinski. 2-2.
4 pitches, all 4 away from Yasiel Puig.
I think he pulls the string on it right
so.
here.
He makes that changeup look like a sinker in the same area.
The 2-2. Full count.
He threw the slider and just overthrew it a little bit.
Be interesting here. Turner's got a great lead, and so does Reddick. Both guys can run. I doubt if they double steal.
There's Blake Trinan in the Nationals pen, the right-hander. Turner, the runner on second. And Reddick. Turner chatting with his former teammate with the New York Mets, Daniel Murphy. Yasiel Puig with the Dodgers trailing by a run. 2 on, 1 out. Payoff pitch from Zepchinski, missing away. Ball 4. So Puig will head down to first. And the Dodgers have loaded the bases for the 3rd time in 5 innings here in Game 2.
That was a great at bat by Puig, wasn't it? Because we've seen him. The book on him is that swing happy. He's in swing mode all the time. And Zepchinski kept laying the bait out there, away, away, away. He just didn't take it.
Yeah,
3-2 changeup.
He missed big on 2 pitches. He could have got him to chase, though. Threw one straight in the dirt, and that one not even anything to offer at. If he'd have been close,
as he was early in the count.
Yeah, then I think we might have seen him get enticed with a little bit of a swing.
So here's Grandal, who grounded into a double play with the bases loaded back in the 3rd inning.
You almost pitch Grandal the same way you pitch Puig when he's on the right side of the plate. Grandal obviously a switch hitter. Keep it away and keep that slow changeup, make him chase. We'll see if he's able to stay as patient as Puig was. That's a nice cutter in. Looks like that was a swing with the guy looking for a ball out, and it came back in on him. Watch Grandal looking out, and look at his bat angle going out, and the ball came back in on him.
The 0-2. Grandal down on strikes. 2 away.
Surprised you don't see Howie Kendrick here.
Yeah, you will.
Yeah, we will.
Probably get Blake Trinan to come in on Kendrick. Well, as good as that the 2nd strike slider was, came back and didn't try to make this one even better. Just doubled up. Carbon copy. Great location.
So Kendrick out to pinch hit for Tolles. Trinan continues to throw in the Nationals pen.
Well, Dusty told us yesterday he trusts Zepchinski against lefties and righties. This is not a left-handed specialist. Trying, obviously, to get a little length right here. Thought he might go to the bullpen and get the righty to match up with Kendrick.
Kendrick 0 for 5 against Zepchinski. Not a big sample, but one clearly Zepchinski's favorite.
1 for 2 in game 1. Missing away, ball 1.
The other thing that happens, a lot of people like to see him go to the bullpen, whoever the manager is, and bring in a right-hander right here, but you also force your pitcher in a situation where he's got to throw strikes fresh out of the pen. I like it when the guy's hot. He's already been out there. Go get him.
Kendrick is the 5th Dodger to bat today with the bases loaded. So far, Los Angeles 0 for 4 in those situations.
And they're going to look back on this day, and those are the things you look at of missed opportunities.
The 2-0. Missing away. Ball 3.
Howie Kendrick's such a good hitter. You may see him take 2 pitches right here to make him throw a strike, and this count runs a 3-2.
The 3-0 from Zepchinski, in for strike 1.
There's 1. And he'll zone in on his pitch, but if he doesn't get it, then clearly he's not going to be swinging. I'm giving him a 3-1. Go get your pitch, veteran hitter. But he also is good enough where he can go to 3-2 and not worry about not putting the ball in play.
The 3-1. And Kendrick lines out to Worth in left to end the inning. So for the second time, the Dodgers leave the bases loaded as Worth makes the play. Zepchinski celebrates. Nationals with a 3-2 lead, middle of the 5th. Top of the order for the Nationals here in the bottom of the 5th inning against Rich Hill. Trey Turner leads off. Turner 1 for 2, singled his last time up. Nationals with 3 in the 4th on 1 hit. Catcher Jose Lobaton with his 2nd career postseason home run. After Murphy had walked, Espinosa hit by a pitch for the 2nd time today. There's Kendrick, who remains in the game in left. And Yasiel Puig in center field for the Dodgers.
Well, that's one of the strengths of the Dodgers, the versatility that they have where guys can play multiple positions.
Both teams with 6 extra position players on their NLDS roster. Nationals used all 6 in game 1.
Yeah.
Two-one to Turner. Up the middle for a base hit. 2nd hit of the game for Turner. Leadoff man is on for the Nationals for the 3rd time today.
Remember, after the home run here, watch Hill's reaction. That's his non-pitching hand, his right hand. But we talked about the emotions of Rich Hill. Look what he did to his hand. He's lucky that's all he did to it. Nationals thought maybe they could get to him and rattle him. In one case, the emotions got the better of Rich Hill.
Smart veteran move, though. Opposite field hand.
Right.
Opposite hand. Now I'm looking again at Trey Turner at first, and we'll see this situation work out. It gave him about 3 or 4 different looks at first base last time with Harper up there. Bryce got to be looking fastball because that's what he did last time against him as well.
Harper, a couple of strikeouts today. 1 for 7 in the series with 3 strikeouts.
You saw Davey Lopes, the first base coach, check the stopwatch on the time. Also the time to home plate. Time it takes the pitcher to release by the time it hits the catcher's glove. For most runners, the break point is about 1.35, 1.4. For Trey Turner, because he's so fast, 1.25 is green light. That's quick to the plate. You saw Rich Hill there barely get the foot off the ground.
Well, it's up to Trey Turner if he's going to be patient or not. When you have a guy that has a slide step like that, that's the one you don't go on. It's being able to read him and distinguish. Is he going to continue to raise that leg high enough to run on, or is he going to keep it low and come over? And that's the challenge, is still in the bag off a guy like this. There's the low look. He gave you the low look and went home. Now he gives you a low look and goes to first. We've watched him pause up on a high look, so he's given him about 5 different things to look at. In this situation, you don't gamble and guess. You got to be sure, because you got the heart of your order coming up after you.
Turner goes, throw down to second, is off the mark. Trey Turner steals second base.
He's too fast. I mean, the normal calculus of a base runner, throw it out the window. Rich Hill did everything he could. Throws over, slide steps, quick to the plate. And speed just wins out.
And they basically delivered a pitch out on a fastball up and away. He got a great jump. He went first movement, quick read, and no play. See where Grandal gets that ball in perfect position to throw. He just outran the baseball. Great job.
Runner in scoring position for the Nationals as Hill steps off. Trey Turner, only 73 games during the regular season. He finished 5th in the league in steals with 33.
Well, including the minor leagues, that's now 59 bags for Trey Turner. And in the big leagues, after the 3rd inning, that's when you get those money bags like that one. 20 for 20.
Wow.
And he's going to continue to get better. I mean, his upside is crazy.
Some impressive company. 13 homers, 33 steals following the All-Star break.
But that play by Bryce Harper.
It's on his own.
Knowing,
right there.
yeah, absolutely, of course. Knowing this is a tough matchup for him against Rich Hill. Knowing how big each run is in this game. Get the runner over to 3rd. Strikeout, obviously, is a wasted opportunity here. So, at worst case, get the runner over to 3rd. I like it. I know you're saying, wow, Bryce Harper can hit the ball out. Tough matchup for him against Rich Hill's breaking ball.
Well, and he got the breaking ball. He just pulled off it. It was a great idea. And you got the shadows looming as well. So if anybody knows this ballpark, Bryce Harper knows it. That's a tough C right there as a hitter.
The 1-2 from Hill to the left side, base hit. Turner holds at 3rd. So the Nationals with runners on the corners and nobody out.
Well, you know what happens a lot of times when you bunt. I'm talking with Pete Rose or anybody who's had a number of hits in the big leagues, it helps you track the baseball. And right there, here, Bryce stays on a fastball, and this is that pitch, Tom, that he hadn't been handling.
Mark and save that swing right there. That's the adjustment Bryce Harper had to make, and I think he was forced to do it because of a left-hander, Rich Hill, dropping down, slingshot, and we've seen him pull off those fastballs up and away. That's the adjustment right there. That can be the one swing that turns the series around for Bryce Harper.
I'll tell you what, little things that happen in a game, that shadow makes you stay a little bit longer on the baseball. That might be the little thing that Bryce needed, that extra bit of staying on the baseball a little bit longer because you got to be able to see it. This is what you're seeing as a hitter. That's coming from light to dark. And by the time that ball gets to the dirt, you've already had to make your determination what you're going to do.
1st and 3rd, Jason Worth, who has struck out twice.
Now, don't be surprised you don't see Harper run this situation, too.
Turner over at 3rd, Harper at 1st.
And the way the middle infield's set up, they're basically giving Bryce Harper second base.
Worth pops it up, slams his bat. Gonzalez, one away. Time for a game break to Los Angeles. Carissa Thompson. Carissa. Thanks, Carissa. Kirk Cousins was here at Nationals Park on Friday night. Got the crowd revved up just prior to the game. Battle of the Beltway.
Starting to turn his quarterback play around a little bit. He struggled first couple games.
Terrific season last year. Redskins won the division. There is Pedro Baez up and throwing in the Dodgers pen with runners on the corners and one out.
This is the most important at bat for Murphy in the game right here. He's got to be the one that takes this left-hander out of the game.
And Baez is up for Rendon with that power slider. First things first. Hill on Murphy.
Rich Hill's fun to watch, isn't he? I've really enjoyed what he is pitching. We're so enamored with the radar gun in the high 90s, and I get it. But this guy's really done a nice job. It's been fun watching him with all the different speeds and locations that he hits on the gun.
The 0-1 to Murphy.
We'll drop down right there. We hadn't seen that today.
Rich Hill, 36 years of age. Only 94 career starts in the regular season. Only one other pitcher in history, 36 or older, started a postseason game with fewer than 100 regular season starts. Ray Prim for the Cubs back in the '45 World Series. And now Rich Hill here in 2016. 1-2.
Don't see that often with Daniel Murphy. Watch the hand come off the bat. That's when you know you're fooled as a hitter, and that top hand comes off way out in front, trying to slow himself down too late. That is a rare swing for Daniel Murphy.
Murphy singled to the second, walked, and scored in the fourth.
Good throw to first. That situation right there, you got a 1-2 count on Murphy. You saw the bad swing. Now you try to steal a run. You got Turner at third, Harper on first. Harper goes, you draw a throw, Turner sneaks in the backside. That's a great move right there to go to first base by Hill and the Dodgers.
And now Hill calls Grandal out for a chat as we check in with JP. All right, we'll check back in with JP in a moment. Dodger skipper Dave Roberts, his club won game one on Friday night, trailing this one 3-2. As Hill just missed, now 2-2.
Hill wanted that pitch. He's not letting that one go.
Was executed the sidearm to the other side. Look at him drop down, try to pinpoint the. And
that's
just
off the plate. You saw Grandal pull it back. He wanted it, of course.
And now the 2-2 to Murphy. And he whips this one into right center. Turner scores. Harper to third. Nationals lead 4-2.
Great at bat. Huge at bat. Forces their hand. You're going to have to go to the bullpen. It breaks it open with a lot of momentum. It wasn't at bat by Murphy.
Turner led off the inning with a single. Stole second. Comes home to score on the Murphy base hit. And that will be all for Rich Hill. Fourth run.
You see him there? Do I stay at first? He's joking around. Yeah, you stay at first. Hey,
after he was caught stealing in game one.
Here's the first swing that I talked about where he missed. The only thing harder to do than to make Daniel Murphy swing like that, try to do it again with the same pitch. This is classic Murph. The curveball the second time, right on it, on time.
So the Nationals knock out Rich Hill after 4 1/3, 82 pitches. Both starters lasted 4 1/3, Roark and Hill. Here's the 28-year-old right-hander Pedro Baez. Pitched a scoreless inning out of the Dodgers bullpen in game one.
Tell you what, it might be a different look for Rich Hill. It might still be even in this game had the Dodgers picked up some runners when they had bases loaded. They've blown several opportunities.
Dodgers have left 9 men on base. They've loaded the bases in 3 of the last 4 innings, but have come away with only 1 run. So here's Rendon. He popped a short against Baez on Friday night. First and third, 1 out, strike 1.
Well, just like I talked about on the Zipchemsky-Puig matchup, he'd never seen him before. You always feel better when you've seen a guy. And to turn it around in the playoffs, that's what makes it so great in the series. To see a guy another time this quick as Rendon's seeing Baez now.
Ball 1, says the first base umpire, Ron Culpa.
Yeah, but this is, you talk about difficult at bats. The light has gotten a lot worse now because the shadow's farther out. As a hitter, when you're trying to find the dot on the slider of Pedro Baez as opposed to the 98-mile-an-hour topspin fastball, good luck, because that ball goes from light to dark, looks like it disappears. Never mind trying to find the dot on a slider.
A 1-1 from Baez, missing high, ball 2.
3 good takes, though, from Rendon. Looks like he's picking up the ball pretty good. That one there, you can always tell with a hitter when they relax if the ball's out in front of them a long ways. When they give up on a pitch, that means they saw it pretty good. He's seeing the ball okay, but I'm with you, Tom. Very difficult, but for him right now, he seems to be dialed in and seeing the ball pretty good.
Yeah, he's got a very low chase rate. That pitch designed way at the top, over the strike zone, that's a wasted pitch against him. Has to be in the zone at the top. Right there.
Left field, Howie Kendrick.
We may tag up here. We may see a tag.
Wynn carries the ball in. Here comes Harper. Throw to the plate is in time, and Bryce Harper is tagged out, attempting to score, so that will end the inning. But the Nationals add a run, lead the Dodgers 4-2 through 5. 4-2 Nationals as we move to the 6th. Kenny Albert, Harold Reynolds, Tom Verducci, J.P. Morosi, Charlie Culberson batting for Pedro Baez. Leading off for the Dodgers here in the top of the 6th against Mark Zipchinski.
Well, the Dodgers have clearly said, look, if we're going to bunt, we're going to put that ball in Murphy's hands. They're going to try to make him handle the ball as often as they can. Right there, another guy trying to push the ball. We saw earlier in the game, Rich Hill. Right there, Culberson trying to push the ball to second to make Murphy handle the ball.
Harold, you talked about the missed opportunities. Dodgers have left 9 men on base. 3 in the 2nd, 2 in the 3rd, 3 more in the 5th. They've loaded the bases in 3 of the last 4 innings. Only 1 run to show for it. And Culberson lifts this one into left center. It is Worth for out number 1.
Well, you saw Worth handle that ball right there. He's an experienced outfielder. Howard Kendrick's mainly an infielder. He's converted to outfield a little bit this year, being able to play that. But watch how far he drifts. This is where I said they're going to challenge him. He barely caught that ball. He recovers and makes a nice throw and nice scoop and tag. But I like the challenge. Anytime you got an infielder out of position, and I know he's made that adjustment to the outfield, but he's always going to be somewhat of an infielder. You force that action, and that's what the Nationals did. Didn't pay off, but I think those are things you look at as this series continues on. Challenging guys on plays like that.
Chase Utley 0 for 3. 1 out, top of the 6th inning. Washington Nationals with a 4-2 lead after falling behind 2-0. Jose Lobaton with a 3-run homer for the Nats in the bottom of the 4th. They added a run in the 5th.
That was a heck of a recovery by Kendrick, making that throw. You know, that's the thing, Tom. We saw Culberson just now. They have so many guys that can play so many different positions. And in this day and age where
rosters are being set that way. What an advantage it is to have multiple players like that.
Absolutely. Cubs the best example of that with the way Joe Madden deploys his guys. And I like the decision by Bryce Harper to be aggressive, as you said, with it. Really an outfielder who's not experienced out there. The wind is pushing balls down out there in left field. And as you mentioned, give credit to Grandal. Made a great pick on the throw.
You know what happens as a base runner when you're on third base and that ball's in the air? You got the third base coach sitting there and you're going, am I going? You're going. Let's get a read. You're going to go. You're going to go. You know, because that was one of those. Is not, okay, high to left, you're running. It was one of those, you're going to challenge him. Get ready, you're going. And he may have drifted another step or two closer to the plate than maybe when that call was made. But I still like it.
Full count with Seager waiting on deck. Here comes payoff pitch to Utley. Ball 4. So a 1-out walk. Utley heads to first. Well, T-Mobile One lets baseball fans dig into the game with unlimited LTE data on their smartphones. Show us how you are a baseball fan by using hashtag #UnlimitedBaseball for a free MLB Shop gift code and the chance to win tickets to every 2017 World Series game.
Colorful outfits out there. A little bit of everything.
Sunday afternoon in our nation's capital following the rain out yesterday. Here's Corey Seager, who opened the scoring once again in the first inning. Seager with 26 home runs during the regular season, Dodgers franchise record for a shortstop. Already has 2 in this series, both in the first inning, game 1, and today in game 2. And for more on the Seager family, downstairs to JP.
Thanks, Kenny. And all those home runs, but Corey Seager did not even lead his own family in home runs this season. That belonged to brother Kyle, who hit 30 for the Mariners. Kenny, they are the first brothers in Major League history with 25-plus homers in the same year.
And there is the Seager family, mom on the left. The 0-2 from Zepchinski, and Seager got a piece of it.
You see clearly that's 3 pitches in on him, not allowing him to get extended. But I tell you, the Seager family, they're fun to be around, just great quality people. Both Kyle and Corey, and also the rest of the extended family. But man, when I look at him, the first thing that stood out, like I said earlier, is how big he is.
Incredible note from JP, first brothers in Major League history to each hit at least 25 home runs in the same season.
Well, it's rare enough to have your brother playing in the big leagues with you, period, but to be able to put up the numbers what they put up. I mean, look at the size of this guy. I've been around Cal Ripken, Stan 6'5", been around Derek Jeter, Alex Rodriguez. Those guys look big, right? This kid's got that height, but he's got the girth as well. Just a big kid.
Utley goes. And Seager strikes out.
Element of surprise, Chase Utley right there. I don't think anybody thought he was going anywhere. Snatched that bag easy. I thought Lobaton made a nice play. Just catch the ball. Don't even think about throwing. He already knew he had such a great jump. He goes first movement, no play at all. Just catch it, hold on to it, and don't even throw.
Got to be real careful here with Justin Turner. Base open, Gonzalez on deck. Justin will go out of the strike zone in this situation, so the pitch around not easily done.
Well, you're going to nibble the outside, and again, very similar to what we've seen all day. You want to hit a home run, you're going to have to do it the opposite way. That's how I would pitch Justin Turner here. I can't flirt around on the inside and let him pull a ball. Not with the left-hander sitting on the on-deck circle. Even though it is Adrian Gonzalez, he's still got to earn it if he's going to drive a ball. I got to keep him in the park.
Turner has never faced Zepchinski. Justin has reached base twice today. Walked and scored in the third, singled in the fifth. Luis Avilan up in the Dodgers pen, the left-hander.
That's really rare, Tom. I mean, Zepchinski's been in the league a long time, and in the National League as well. And
yeah,
for
they
Turner
miss
and
each
Puig
other,
not
right?
to see him, yeah.
One and one.
We've seen more conversations at the mound. It just shows the importance of the postseason, and particularly how important one game is. Situations.
You know, we talk a lot about Dodgers' trouble hitting left-handed pitching. Certainly Dusty Baker would love to keep the lefties in the game all the way to Mark Melancon. Justin Turner actually is part of the problem. Strangely enough, reverse splits has not hit left-handers well this year. Much better against right-handers.
Two and one.
The runner gets to second base, and I tell you, everybody gets paranoid with the signs, or if he's going to tip the hitter, and especially a veteran guy like Chase Utley.
Missing away, ball three. The 3-1 from Zepchinski, in for a called strike, and the count is full.
Gutsy pitch.
Well, let's talk about this pitch right here.
Here's a ball right center cut for him to drive.
That's well located two-seamer away enough. But you saw Zepchinski call out Lobaton. Maybe another situation where talk about the pitch, forget the sign altogether. Get on the same page.
Payoff pitch to Turner. Dodgers now with 2 on, 2 out, as Turner draws second walk of the inning.
You know, Harold, they asked the Dodgers about that, stealing signs possibly from second base. We saw Kershaw call out Grandal a lot in game 1, and they said, yeah, we noticed every Nationals runner wasn't checking the outfielders or lollygagging around. They were locked in on the catcher's signs.
So that will be all for Mark Zepchinski. Here comes Sammy Solis. Tonight it's game 3 of the ALDS, Rangers and Blue Jays. Game 4 in that series, if necessary, tomorrow. Catch game 3 of Nationals and Dodgers on MLB Network. And then on FS1, it's the Cubs and the Giants, game 3 tomorrow night. Red Sox and Indians postponed today. They will play their game 3 tomorrow as well. Here's Sammy Solis, who pitched 2 innings on Friday night in game 1, in to face Adrian Gonzalez. He retired Gonzalez on a ground out to the right side of the 8th inning on Friday night. First and second with 2 outs.
I was going to say, I was so impressed with his stuff. When you get a chance to see him in person, I hadn't seen him in person pitch. Great movement.
Gonzalez sends this one to left. Worth settles under it. More stranded base runners for the Dodgers. They have left 11 men on base through 6. We welcome you back to Game 2 of the National League Division Series on FS1. Washington Nationals with a 4-2 lead on the Los Angeles Dodgers, as the Nationals look to even this best-of-5 series at 1 game apiece. Ryan Zimmerman leading off against the third Dodgers pitcher of the game, 27-year-old left-hander Luis Avilan. Zimmerman has walked and fly to right. Nationals with 3 runs in the 4th and a run in the 5th after the Dodgers took a 2-0 lead.
Well, you can really see the wind whipping around. You can see it on the jerseys with Zimmerman and the pitcher Avalon, the wind blowing right through him. So may challenge a little bit more. This is one of those tricky times, Tom, where this stadium, you got to continue. The flags are blowing in on the upper part of the ballpark, but they're blowing out on certain parts. So you got to continue to watch and look around and see how it's swirling. Piece of paper right by third base, spinning around, staying down low. It's crazy.
Well, tricky is a good way also to define this guy, Luis Avilan. Actually tougher on right-handers. Why? Because of the nasty changeup. Zimmerman's already seen 2 of those, not been on time.
Up the middle for a base hit into center field. 3rd hit of the series for Ryan Zimmerman.
Nice adjustment. Now that one stayed up a little more. Avilan's change doesn't really have a lot of run to it, but it's got very good sink. But when it starts as high as it does right here, it becomes easier to hit. See that stay up? Zimmerman, a lot going on. The big leg kick, the big hand movement. But right on time on the off-speed pitch.
So the leadoff man on for Washington for the 3rd straight inning. Previous 2 have scored.
You saw Zimmerman ask for signs to be repeated again. Possible bunt situation with Espinosa at the plate.
Espinosa has been hit by a pitch in both plate appearances so far today. Against Rich Hill, the Dodgers starter.
Well, the second one hurt. Look, here's the difference with Espinosa. You know, you may get a guy that's going to hit all the home runs you see in his stats, or you might get a guy that swings and misses. So you're not really able to sit here now and say, hey, let's hit and run. Let's maybe manufacture. Let's do some things. You can't trust he's going to make contact.
Josh Fields in the Dodger pen.
But if he does, he may drive one out.
Did it 24 times during the regular season. Fell back to the screen, 1-1.
Another changeup left up.
Well, a lot of times they give you one pitch to swing, to do something with it. After that, let's manufacture.
Well, Danny's the best punter on the team, from the left side or the right side, on
plus,
either side of the infield.
Yeah, and plus, Tom, you got the catcher coming up, and you're going to get a pinch hitter, and then back to the top of the order. That's why it was so important for Zimmerman to get on. But they gave him one swing. Let's see if they manufacture now, if they let him swing away.
Espinosa takes strike 2.
Scoreboard will tell you a lot. 4-2 game, 6th inning. You let him take a shot.
October personally, as well. Things change in this month.
I would have had him move the runner myself, but I'm not managing. I ain't playing either.
We're happy you're up here with us.
I am too, and Dusty's happy I'm up here too. Hey, he's doing a pretty good job. He's doing his own job down there.
He's had a great day today.
Espinosa did not go around.
Tell you what, the one thing I like, the umpires have done real well on check swings today. Ask. That's the only thing you want as a hitter. Ask the opposing first base or third base umpire to tell you what he saw. Nothing more frustrating as a hitter to have the umpire say you went and you go, how do you see the ball in my bat? Get help. That's all you want. It diffuses arguments.
The 2-2. And the count is full with Lobaton waiting on deck.
Now, the same thing I said about Espinosa really applies here, you're probably not going to see Zimmerman run. If he swings and misses, that's 2 outs. So it handicaps you. A little look.
Yeah, that was a called throw over to first base, and you saw Grandal behind the plate slide over inside, which is a tip-off that, hey, we're throwing a fastball here. Not going to set up there for the changeup. But that also could be a decoy, knowing the pitch is not going to be thrown.
Exactly.
A lot of catchers playing that cat-mouse game, not only with the hitter, but the guys on the bench paying attention.
And here comes the change.
And now he goes away.
And Espinosa takes a called strike 3. So Danny Espinosa struck out 3 times in game 1, heads back to the dugout.
And here's Grandal. Get a full count. Change up call. Sets up away. Hits the target.
So with 1 away, here is Lobaton, who took the left-hander Rich Hill deep. A 3-run shot in the 4th inning. Check this out, guys. During the regular season, Lobaton had only 15 at-bats against left-handed pitchers. He had 1 hit. It was a home run against the Dodgers' Scott Kazmir back in July.
Mr. Consistent.
So 2 hits all season for Lobaton against left-handed pitchers. Both home runs, both against the Dodgers.
Well, why were the Dodgers surprised he's playing then? If he homered last time against the lefty.
And how about this? The only other catcher in franchise history to go deep.
The kid.
The late Gary Carter of the Expos.
Oof.
Nice play by Turner. So Lobaton is retired. Zimmerman to second.
I don't know how he made that play.
Well,
and it barely stayed in the glove.
It did. It rattled around there, but he kept his feet moving too. The main thing was he got his head down there and was able to pick that short hop with the thought of being able to turn 2, because he knew he had 2 guys on base that didn't run. But this ball rattled all over the place. Now look how dark it is to see.
I'm laughing because Sammy Solis got all the way into the batter's box when the call came. No, you're not going to hit.
Well, I saw Maddox ask Solis when he came off if he felt like he could still go. So they would have probably continued on. But you got a scoring opportunity. You got to go ahead and pinch hit right here.
So it will be Chris Heisey, one of the best pinch hitters in all of baseball.
I'm sorry. And you get the matchup you want. You want Heisey to face a left-hander. If he waits later in the game, here comes all the right-handers. Now, I don't know if the Dodgers will have a right-hander ready, but you hope he does.
Yeah, they
have the lefty.
They do.
So that will be all for Luis Avila. Back in a moment. It's game 2 of the National League Division Series. Dodgers took the early lead. Nationals have come back. Our game summary brought to you by Bud Light. Corey Seager with a home run in the 1st inning in each of the first 2 games. Dodgers 0 for 5 with the bases loaded. Jose Lobaton with the big blast. Both starting pitchers went 4 and a third. 2 outs, bottom of the 6th inning. Josh Fields, the 4th Dodgers pitcher today, facing the pinch hitter Chris Heisey. With the runner on second, 2 outs. Heisey, the active leader with 14 career pinch hit home runs.
Yeah, Fields is in because of a high velocity cutter. Nothing he throws is straight. I like the idea of starting him with the curveball. That's designed as a get-ahead strike because you know Heisey's not sitting on it. Problem is he missed and now is working from behind.
The 1-0 from Fields. Now 1-1.
Well, I thought one thing that Andrew Friedman and company, I will say, in the front office working with him, did so well was address the bullpen needs of the Dodgers. They had so many problems, and that's why they haven't been able to advance in the postseason, if you ask me. And the burden always fell on Kershaw to go deeper in games when there were many times, like the other night, we watched him come out of that game and the bullpen could bring it home. They couldn't do that before. Did a great job of addressing this bullpen.
Dodgers in the postseason for the 4th consecutive year.
To me, it's like someone putting together a portfolio with small cap stocks, looking for really specific things in the bullpen. And they have done that under the radar. Field is a guy, as I mentioned, the hard cutter. You saw Avilan with that nasty changeup to righties and lefties. That's the way they've built this bullpen, and Dave Roberts has been able to use them in any spot. Trying to get to that guy, Kenley Jansen.
Who recorded the 5-out save on Friday night.
Look how far Heisey chokes up on the bat with 2 strikes.
A 1-2 from Fields. Now 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Well, Tom, you talked about that curveball, and then he's tried to bust him in with the fastball since. Got 2 foul tips, and then right there going back in again. I love the cat and mouse. Let me change something up that I think you might be looking for. But you got to execute.
Yeah, I mean, relievers are macho, right? You don't want to get beat without your best pitch. And his best pitch is the hard cutter.
Heisey strikes out to end the inning. Zimmerman stranded out at second. 6 in the books in Washington, 4-2 Nationals. We are back in Washington Nationals with a 4-2 lead as we move to the 7th, 4th pitcher of the game for the Nationals, the 28-year-old right-hander Blake Trinan, 73 appearances during the regular season. Josh Reddick leading off for the Dodgers, and Reddick, who has 2 hits today, drove in a run, takes a called strike, 0-1.
Yeah, getting to Solisa's spot in the lineup last inning forced now Dusty to go with a right-hander in Trinan, saving Ali Perez for the bigger hitters later. But this guy you see right there, just nasty stuff. I mean, it's sinker heavy and hard at 96. The slider right there, mostly everything down. Typically a guy who comes in when the Nationals need a double play. Right now they just need a shutdown inning. He's got the stuff to do it.
Ooh, ouch.
You felt that one up here, did you?
Oh, yeah. You think about the force in which that bat is swung and what he's trying to do with that ball if he hits it straight. That's going into your foot. So if you're thinking a guy might hit a ball 400 feet and it ends up in his foot, that's the force of which he hit that ball. You wonder when guys are hopping around and take a little more time than normal. That hurts.
You know the feeling.
Oof. So you come right back inside, right?
Yes, sir. Make him do it again.
Pitchers are cruel.
There it is.
Go. See how them toes are feeling now.
One ball, 2 strike count. As Trinan delivers. And Reddick fouls it off down the left side.
I was watching Josh hit yesterday, and I don't know if it was just the power round where guys try to hit balls into the seats or whatnot. I could see where he had a little bit of a longer swing, and I could tell when he went into that long stretch, that's kind of where he was at. He's starting to get out of it, having a good day today, and starting to swing the bat a lot better. But he is susceptible, a little breaking ball down. That was a good swing on a heater away. Nice. He had a tendency to get long a little bit on the curveball, and that's just a matter of continually working. And got in the cage, continued to work through it, and I think that's why he was able to come out of that funk he was in when he first got to L.A. He was in a big funk, struggled bad.
Seventh pitch of the at-bat to Reddick. Left field. Jason Worth, 1 out.
Worth's had some tough plays. Line drive he caught the end of the half inning. The first ball he caught of the day with the sun was in his eyes at that time. I think he gets overlooked an awful lot. He's made the adjustment, Tom, from right field to left, and you know the ball slices differently on each hitter off the bat.
And you mentioned the wind as well. Another factor today, knocking balls down in left field, pushing them toward right field. Balls headed that way.
So with 1 away, here's Yasiel Puig. 3 plate appearances in the series, 3 walks, 2 intentional.
If you'd have said before the series starts, Yasiel Puig's going to have 3 walks, his first 3 at-bats, we could probably fly your jet to Los Angeles tonight. That somebody would have donated that to you. No way you would have thought about that. He's going to be hacking. Great discipline.
He's been a different hitter since he came back. There's no question about that. Both mechanically and especially patience at the plate.
The 3-0 from Trident, in for strike 1.
Well, before he got set down, Yasiel Puig, you see on the left-hand side, really close to the plate. Watch him block off his hands behind him. You see on the right when he came back, hands are in a better place, farther away from home plate. That's the way he hit when he tore up the major leagues when he first came up in 2013. Give those arms room to swing.
That's a great breakdown right there, Tom, because it's a great visual to see that. There's no doubt. Watching him, he got away from who he was, and I think sometimes when you're thinking about adjustments, well, adjusting doesn't necessarily mean change your stance, and I think that's what happened with Puig. He kind of lost his way, but I think the minor leagues was good for him to get back and get back to those basic fundamentals without the pressure.
Payoff pitch from Trident. On the ground to the shortstop, Espinosa. 2 out.
I can watch him field ground balls and throw across the diamond all day. He has got a bazooka.
He's got a closer's arm at shortstop.
Oh, my goodness. Just great fundamentals. He was fun to watch, working out, catching grounders, flipping the ball around. His arm is amazing. But right here, watch him. This is what the angle you get from the outfield. Just set up, and now watch this. Boom! And that ball is carrying it through the first baseman. That's how you can tell who's got a big league arm, if it's fading when it gets there or if it's carrying through that first baseman when it gets to the base. His ball carries. Some Suve to that.
Grandal 0 for 2. Walked in the second and he came up twice with the bases loaded. Grounded into a double play and struck out. 0-2.
Saw Saw the different shapes of Rich Hill's breaking ball right there. A bigger break for Trinan. His 2-strike one is tighter break.
Call strike 3. A 1-2-3 seventh for Blake Trinan.
Somebody left the back door open, and here it comes.
Well, and I think what fooled Grandal was how the catcher caught it. See how Lobaton catches that ball? And that's why he's looking a little perplexed, but it was a strike, no doubt. Beautiful pitch.
7th inning stretch time here at Nationals Park, and we will keep it right here for God Bless America.
Ladies and gentlemen, D.C. Washington.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with a light from above. From the mountains to the prairies to the ocean's wide with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home.
Every weekday morning, Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharp go head-to-head on the day's hottest sports topics. Undisputed with Skip and Shannon, weekdays, 9:30 Eastern, 6:30 a.m. Pacific, only on FS1.
I love it, man. It's a good show.
They go tune in on the West Coast early tomorrow morning?
Yes, yes. No, they go at it, man. I like it a lot. Shannon keeps Skip in check.
9:30 Eastern, 6:30 a.m. for Harold tomorrow in Los Angeles.
I'll probably be up in the East Coast time.
Trey Turner leading off for the Nationals against Josh Fields, who struck out the only batter he faced back in the 6th inning.
They stay in formation defensively. You see the shortstop Seager really protecting the 5.5 hole. Turner had a base hit up the middle on the ground last time up.
Turner with 2 hits today. He's 2 for 3, scored a run.
Well, the interesting thing, too, about the charts and all that, I think as we continue with this shifts and all the advanced knowledge that we're working on right now, you also have to apply, like right now, the shadows. I don't know if he's going to be able to pull a ball that dramatic with shadows. There's 2 balls he swung at, knowing he's going to get a fastball and not catching up. So you may want to shade. Now he's starting to move towards the middle again. But those are the adjustments that I think as we go through this age of being able to scout, those are the adjustments you have to make. That used to be made on the fly by the guys on the field. Now it's controlled more by the bench.
Turner went around. Strikes out for the 2nd time today, 1 away.
No chance. That was a shadow AB right there. Not one chance at hitting any 3 of those pitches.
How do we mark that down on the scorecard?
Shadow AB.
NC. No chance.
So Field strikes out both batters that he faced here in Game 2. To face the left-hander Grant Dayton, 5th Dodgers pitcher today, with the Nationals leading 4-2. 1 out, bottom of the 7th inning, and we take it back to the 5th inning at bat for Harper against Dodgers starter Rich Hill.
Remember I said clip and save that swing right there. The 4-seam fastball up and away is where they've been attacking Bryce Harper. He made the adjustment, not trying to pull it, go the other way. Grant Dayton's in this game. Why? Because of his 4-seam fastball up and away.
Harper faced Dayton in the 6th inning in Game 1. With 2 outs and a runner on first, Harper flat out to right field.
And I thought Dayton did a great job, Tom, of the other night, hitting that spot you're just talking about.
Well, you can see Grandal, he doesn't even get into the full crouch. He wants the target above the belt. Grant's going to have to mix in a breaking ball somewhere in the count just to get him off the pitch, but location-wise, he's going to stay there with the heater. I noticed Bryce made one other adjustment. His last at bat, he got rid of the white batting gloves and went to the red. He got a base hit.
He does.
It's the batting gloves fault. Oh, he changes bats. He changes batting gloves.
But he's not superstitious.
No,
not at all.
There it was. You saw him leak out on that.
Every manager goes into a game knowing there are some matchups you want, some matchups you want to stay away from. This is a matchup Dave Roberts wants because four-seam fastball of Grant Dayton elevated away.
Dayton, a 28-year-old left-hander, never pitched in the major leagues prior to this season. Never faced Bryce Harper prior to Friday night. And Dayton wins the battle yet again.
He told him that's your at bat right there. That's what Bryce saying to the umpire.
Well, I thought he'd mix in a wrinkle, but didn't have to. Stay with what works. He has tremendous spin on his four-seam fastball. What's that mean? It means he's got good carry in the zone, through the zone. You see the target really never wavered. If anything, it went out further a little bit, but up and away above the belt.
And watch Bryce's reaction on this after the swing and miss. That 1-1 pitch changed everything. Because if he calls it a ball, now he's sitting 2-1. As a result, he's 1-2 and has no idea what's going to be coming. Change the whole at bat for him as far as Bryce is concerned.
I'm with you on that, but as far as the adjustment there, I thought we'd see more of an opposite field approach there because Bryce actually is a better hitter as batting averages go to the opposite field than the pull field. I realize the power is to the pull field, but the way they're pitching him, he's going to have to take that the other way.
Jason Worth 0 for 3. A 1-1 from Grant Dayton. Now 2 balls, 1 strike.
Grant Dayton was basically cut by the Marlins last year in April. They traded for him. The Dodgers did. He actually started in AAA with the Dodgers, got sent down to AA at the age of 27. He said he was at the end of his rope as far as his major league career goes.
Now pitching in the postseason as Worth drills this one to the wall in left center. A 2-out double for Jason Worth here in the bottom of the 7th inning. So Worth doing it with the bat and in the field as well. And if we take you back to the 5th inning, bases loaded, Howie Kendrick at the plate. Grip the Moment, sponsored by Falcon Tires, the official tire of Major League Baseball.
Well, he made a great defensive play the other day in the corner, and the swing right here is what's been missing. You figured it might be coming. He gets a changeup, it looked like grip, but it looks a little more carry on it than maybe a fastball. He jumped on that all the way. Tom, you're talking about ropes? That was a rope.
Yeah, I mean, he is a terrific fastball hitter.
So with Worth on at second, here's Daniel Murphy, who faced Dayton in game 1 and walked, and then was caught stealing in the 7th inning.
Talk about good fastball hitters. I think he's one of the top 3 fastball hitters in all of baseball. This is a great matchup to watch. Now let's talk about it. Yeah, Grant Dayton, I talked about it being at the end of his rope. He went to spring training this year and said, I'm going to blow my arm out or continue my career. He realized this was his last chance to make it as a professional pitcher. As you said, Kenny, now here he is, healthy. He didn't blow out his arm, obviously, pitching in the postseason.
Well, the one saving grace for Dayton right there was that ball stayed in the ballpark with Worth. This is the matchup, like it or not. why he's in this game. This will be his last hitter that he's got to try to get right here in this situation.
As you see, relief pitchers are not allowed to run in this series. Everything has been against the starters. Kershaw, Scherzer, game 1. Hill, Roark, game 2. By the way, with the rain out yesterday, the game 3 starters already on their way to Los Angeles. Game 3 tomorrow. Gonzalez and Maeda.
So we know for sure. No change in your mind. Get on the flight. They're watching us right now on TV.
One and one on Murphy, who has reached base 3 times today. 2 hits and a walk. He's driven in a run, and he has scored a run.
This guy's got a terrific arm.
Oh.
The ball just jumps on you.
Yeah, Murphy, I'm not sure he saw that well. Fastball's in the zone. Daniel Murphy hits .420.
Here's the 1-1 from Dayton. And Murphy with a base hit into left field. Here's Worth heading home. Throw to the plate. Not in time. Nationals lead 5-2. Second run batted in of the day and the 3rd hit for Daniel Murphy.
Well, Tom, I said this the other day about Daniel Murphy. He hits off the fastball. The numbers you threw out there, amazing. But a lot of guys don't look fastball and adjust. He looks fastball and adjusts. That's an old school thinking. Here's the fastball in a count. He's behind. After he check swung, it looked like he might get it by him, but he's still looking. He's not going to be guessing off speed. He'll adjust to that, and he hammers it to left field.
Now, here is what you look for. Who touches the ball first? Touching the ball to left fielder or touching the bag, Worth? That's pretty darn close. I thought this was going to be closer at the plate. Worth did a nice job cutting the corner, rounding third base.
So the Nationals now lead 5-2 as Anthony Rendon takes ball 1. Jason Worth with a 2-out double. Driven home by Daniel Murphy.
General rule of thumb is if the fielder touches the ball before the runner touches the bag, you should have an out in order. Jason Worth always been a good base runner.
And Kendrick made a stronger throw than I thought he was going to make. Just a good baseball play all the way around. Good hitting, fielding, and great base running by that guy. Now with the score 5-2, this is Dayton's to get out of right now because they're not going to go to the bullpen and blow that thing up. You want to keep everybody intact.
One thing the rainout did to change the shape of this series is now, which you don't normally have in a division series, 3 games in 3 days. So bullpen usage as the series goes on gets a little trickier without those off days baked in.
That, and it was a momentum stopper for the Dodgers. Just that one day, really, I think, allowed the Nationals to kind of get their breath. They played a much better game today than they did the other night. Just offensively, better swings, looked more relaxed, better approaches, and this was a must-win game for them.
Rendon fouls it off to the right side. Game 3 in Los Angeles tomorrow afternoon. Game 4, if necessary, at Dodger Stadium on Tuesday. And then Game 5, if necessary, here in Washington on Thursday. 2-2 from Dayton, missing high, full count. Pitching coach Rick Honeycutt. Payoff pitch from Dayton. Rendon down on strikes to end the inning, but the Nationals add to their lead as Daniel Murphy drives home Jason Worth. 5-2 Washington as we head to the 8th. Rangers Blue Jays first pitch 7:38 Eastern on TBS. Tomorrow Cubs Giants game 3 9 Eastern on FS1. Game 3 in this series MLB Network tomorrow afternoon from Dodger Stadium as Howie Kendrick leads off for the Dodgers here in the top of the 8th inning against Blake Trinan, with the Nationals out on top 5-2. Kendrick lined out to Worth in left with the bases loaded his first time up. Pinch hitting back in the 5th inning. Dodgers have left 11 men on base over the first 7 innings. Dodgers had a 2-0 lead early. Seager a solo home run in the 1st inning. And then Reddick drove in a run in the 3rd, but Nationals have come back. Andre Ethier on deck to bat for Grant Dayton.
I think the big thing when you look back at for the Dodgers is not just the 11 men on base, but it was times they had bases loaded.
3 times. Scored just once. And Kendrick is called out on strikes. Well, as we mentioned, the Game 3 starters have headed west.
Yeah, Gio especially to me. I kind of circled him coming into the series. The Dodgers' difficulty with lefties. He's the one left-handed starting pitcher, and length will be a key. Somebody in this series is going to have to provide length playing 3 days in a row. And what a job by Blake Trinan.
He retired all 4 Dodgers he faced, striking out the last 2. Ethier announces the pinch hitter. Here comes the veteran left-hander Oliver Perez from the Nationals pen with 1 out in the 8th. Pinch hitter. Nationals make the move to the left-hander Oliver Perez. So Dave Roberts sends out the longtime Philadelphia Philly, the right-handed hitting Carlos Ruiz.
And how about game 1? Ethier went out there as a decoy.
Right.
They thought perhaps trying to convince the Nationals they would hit for Kenley Jansen. And I joked with Andre yesterday. I said, you came all this way to stand in the on-deck circle? And he said, yeah, but didn't I look good doing it? Did the same thing today. Hasn't seen the field yet.
Although Dave Roberts said after the game, I did not think Dusty would be fooled when I sent Ethier out into the on-deck circle. Ruiz acquired from the Phillies. Harold, you talk about A.J. Ellis in game 1 and how big of a factor he's been for the Dodgers, in particular with Clayton Kershaw. Well, Ellis sent to the Phillies in late August in exchange for Carlos Ruiz, who is at the plate right here. 11 seasons in Philadelphia, won a title in 2008 along with Jason Worth and Chase Utley.
And I talked to him the other day. I talked to Chooch about that and coming to LA, and he said that they have treated him with such class, such a classy organization, and he raved about Andrew Friedman and Dave Robertson and the environment they have built here. And he just was so, the way the whole team greeted him and allowed him in, even though he knew it was a tough situation to come in and replace somebody as popular as A.J. Ellis. They made it as comfortable as they possibly could, and that's just to tip your cap to the environment they've created here in that dugout.
Ryan Zimmerman, 2 away.
How about this? Talk about going through players. Chooch was the 8th player used in the 9th spot in the order. We'll get another one pitcher when he comes in the game. The reason that you see Barnes there, he's the 3rd catcher. It kept 3 catchers specifically to have Ruiz available to pinch hit against left-handed pitchers. Just didn't get the hit right there.
Well, it's kind of a strange pinch hit to me. I mean, it's 5-2. And I know Ollie Perez is the left-hander matchup, but I don't have a problem with Andre Ethier hitting. I mean, it is Andre Ethier.
He's not had many at-bats, though.
And now Utley swinging at the first pitch. Nice play by Murphy.
Do it, Daniel Murphy.
To throw out Utley to end the inning.
Yeah, even Daniel's like, whoa.
He's fired up. '26-year-old right-hander Ross Stripling, 6th Dodgers pitcher here in Game 2, facing Ryan Zimmerman leading off for the Nationals. In the bottom of the 8th inning, Washington with a 5-2 lead. Stripling, 22 appearances for the Dodgers during the regular season, out of Texas A&M, 5th-round pick back in 2012.
Well, Stripling made headlines early in the year when he had a no-hitter and got pulled out. Well, pitch count. Controversial in a sense, but I understood it. He was coming off Tommy John and had a great game going early in the year. Got, I think, to the 8th or 9th inning.
Yep, 7 1/3.
Yeah.
Back on April 8th in his major league debut. And for more on Ross Stripling, downstairs to JP.
Gentlemen, we are watching a licensed stockbroker pitching in the postseason. Yes, Ross Stripling passed his Series 7 exam during the offseason, went to work for Wunderlich Securities in Houston. His grandfather, he told me, was a day trader, so this is in his blood.
Harold might put a phone call into Ross tomorrow morning.
Not much in the stock market, but that's pretty cool stuff. Well, he's got a
lot of potential clients in that clubhouse, huh? He got some money to invest in there. Highest payroll in baseball, LA Dodgers.
That'd be something. I mean, look at Blade, like he's handling my stuff, man. It may not be good if he lost your money, though.
No. Huh. But he might save the game for you.
That's true.
Bounce to the shortstop, Seager. What a way.
So smooth at first base, Adrian Gonzalez. Such a luxury to have a first baseman like that. Big target, soft hands. Saves you right there. Seager held that ball a little bit too long, threw a little short hop, and Adrian made it look like it was just routine.
So with one away, here's Danny Espinosa. Hit by a pitch twice. Came around to score in the 4th. Struck out looking in the 6th. As we look ahead to the top of the 9th inning, Dodgers will have Seager, Turner, and Gonzalez due up.
Now here's where the Dodgers don't want Espinosa, on that left side. This is where he's more dangerous as a left-handed hitter than he is a right-handed hitter. I don't know what the numbers bear out, but I clearly see it when I watch him play.
Now, 43,826, excuse me, guys, on hand here in Washington. Nationals looking to win a home game for only the 2nd time in the postseason since the move from Montreal. Just 1-5 here at Nationals Park in postseason action. There are the numbers, Harold.
Yeah, I see that. Clearly the power. I don't know. I just think that this guy, with that kind of power and watching him play the infield with his hand-eye coordination, he's got to be a better hitter. And if that was the one thing that he needs to work on in the offseason, would be tracking the ball better, it would benefit him greatly, because I think he's going to be a better hitter than what he shows.
Saw how far out Grandal went with the target there. It was interesting. Before that, when Espinosa called time, Grandal jumped back behind the plate as quickly as he could. Because a lot of times the hitter calls time, he's looking back to the umpire. He'll catch the catcher's positioning. The Red Sox used to get inflamed at Bernie Williams for pulling that trick.
Espinosa strikes out. 2 away here in the bottom of the 8th. As Jose Lobaton steps to the plate, we take you back to the bottom of the 4th. StatCast powered by Amazon Web Services. 3-run shot off Rich Hill to give the Nationals their first lead of the series.
Such a big home run at the time. I mean, turned this whole game
Huge.
around.
Talked about needing to get a lead early in this game, get the crowd in, get yourself in the series, and this guy did it. Saw a lot of great curveballs from Rich Hill today. That one was the absolute worst, and Lobaton didn't miss it.
A switch hitting catcher now batting from the left side against the righty Stripling, and there is the closer Mark Melanson up and throwing in the Washington pen. I mentioned earlier Lobaton with only 1 hit against a left-handed pitcher during the regular season, and it was a home run against the Dodgers. Does it again today here in the postseason. Home run against the Dodgers left-hander.
I think this one counted a little bit more, right?
Yes.
Now, you talked about that right foot of Lobaton, the ankle and the foot area being sore. This is the best side of the plate for him to be on, because you're going to be on that left foot, which is your back leg, and the right foot's going to be more of a landing. You don't have to worry about the pressure quite as much as pushing off. Clearly it didn't affect him on the other side of the plate already in this game.
Well, I'll go back to the starting lineup, too, because I questioned whether Dusty Baker should have gone with Severino, who swung the bat so well in Game 1. Manager, job number 1, put your players in position to succeed. He certainly did that today, not just with Lobaton in the lineup, but how about the decision getting Zepchinski in the game, getting Roark out early in 5th inning.
Well, the other thing with Lobaton being in the game as a switch hitter, you're not worried about having to change him off as a pinch hitter or different things like that. Now, clearly you take the lead, you ride the defense all the way home, but you don't have to worry about losing that position player to a hitter on the other side. Oof.
Lobaton strikes out.
A shadow swing right there.
It's another no-see. No chance.
There is Mark Melanson, the Nationals closer. Corey Seager will lead off for the 9th for the Dodgers. Thing in Washington, Nationals lead 5-2. Corey Seager leads off for the Dodgers against the Nationals closer Mark Melanson. Melanson pitched the 9th inning of the Game 1 loss for Washington. Seager first pitch fouls it off, strike 1.
That pitch right there, his bread and butter, the hard cutter. Our pitchers don't want to work in late in the game. He loves working in at any time. Backs that up, occasional curveball.
One and one. Great job by our entire crew, led by producer Aaron Stoikov, director Matt Gangle, technical producer Tom Lynch, technical director Zach Jensen, associate director Gilbert Cepeda, broadcast associate Sam Younger, Ben Bulma crunching the numbers along with Mark Seguro and Aaron Charlton. A 1-1. Espinosa, 1 out. Well, tonight, NLDS Game 3, Rangers and Blue Jays on TBS. First pitch just after 7:30. And then Game 4 in that series, if necessary, tomorrow. Game 3 in this series on MLB Network. Red Sox and Indians Game 3, and then Cubs and Giants Game 3, 9 Eastern, FS1.
See Kershaw there on the left. Was a possibility to start Game 4, but that went away with the rain out yesterday. If this score holds up, we will have a Game 4. And the Dodgers will give the ball either trying to survive or to clinch to a 20-year-old rookie, Julio Urias.
Good chance it would be Joe Ross for the Nationals. Mark Melancon trying to close out the Dodgers in Game 2. The 0-1 to Justin Turner, nothing and 2.
Well, what I find interesting as we get to this point in the series, if this continues on and we leave here 1-1, you've seen now the pitchers have all started to get the rhythm. There's been a lot of different players get involved in the games. Now you're playing baseball. The nerves are gone. Now it's time to focus on playing ball.
Dodgers with a 4-3 win in Game 1 Friday night. A rain out yesterday. Nationals in come-from-behind fashion, leading the Dodgers 5-2. A 1-2 from Melancon. Turner got a piece of it. Adrian Gonzalez on deck.
You don't usually see a closer with that many pitches. You know, they usually have 1 or 2 pitches. Melancon can mix in a lot of different stuff on you, and that's why you see a lot of shaking off. Saw 3 different signs right there.
Guys, how about this from statistician Ben Bova? 91 years ago tomorrow, the last time a Washington baseball team came from behind to win a postseason game at home. Game 3 of the 1925 World Series against Pittsburgh. Trailed 3-2 in the 7th. Won the game 4-3. Like that one, Harold?
I like it. I mean, the history is blowing me away. I love history.
October 10th, 1925.
Time we get to LA, I'm gonna be full of all kinds of nuggets.
We'll give you some more. 2-2.
I'm fascinated with the players running around trying to get the birds off the field. They've been just sitting out there. And
Daniel Murphy's been hurting them out there. Round them up.
They move from third base to shortstop to second, now in shallow right. We need a shift chart on the birds.
You know who's eating sunflower seeds out on the field? That's what's going on.
Turner left field, and it will drop in front of Jason Worth for a 1-out single. Second hit of the game. Justin Turner on base for the 4th time today.
Really good at bat. Got that ball off. Well, here's the difference. If they lose this game, you're going to go back when they're on that flight and they're talking about how it got away from us. This is it right here. 0 for 5 with bases loaded today. Just not being able to capitalize. And the 2 strikeouts really hurt them because they occurred, one of them when you only had 1 out. Put the ball in play, you get a chance. So those are the things that really you look back at and you go, we had our opportunities.
11 runners left on base. Some more shepherding going on here. Watching Adrian Gonzalez here from pitch 1 to protect against that cutter, choking up on the bat here against Melancon. almost like a Mariano Rivera type approach, a defensive approach you have to take against Melanson. Ball just chases you in on the hands.
0 for 6 lifetime against Mark Melanson.
Yeah, he's pretty much just cutter curveball. What he does is work both sides of the plate.
Yeah, he's a surgeon. He's another guy that just will pinpoint control. He has enough velocity that's going to throw you off a little bit too, but it's his ability to spot his pitches that has allowed him to have such great success.
1-1.
Like that. You're in a hitter's count, 1-0, and he dots the I right there. And this is perfect execution. Look at the glove and hits it, and a little bit cut on it at that. So a little backdoor cutter on the black.
To the right side. Foul ball.
See Ryan Zimmerman charge that as hard as he could to try to get it fair, but it worked foul.
This ball kicks at the last second.
One ball, 2 strike count. 1 out, top of the 9th inning. And Gonzalez down on strikes, 2 away.
He choked up even more on the bat with 2 strikes. I've never seen Adrian go that far up the bat. As you mentioned, Kenny, Melanson's got his number. Climb the ladder here with the cutter.
That's one of those, you see the ball, you start your swing, and you realize, oh no, I don't want to continue on. But you do.
So the Dodgers down to their final out. Josh Reddick, lifetime against Melanson. 2 for 4 with a home run.
That conversation there is about just playing behind Turner at first base. Defend the batter, don't worry about the runner. Let your pitcher know.
He wants to run, you let him go. I thought he'd be there already with Gonzalez up.
There goes Turner. He will take second base uncontested.
I like the play on the Dodgers side. You force an infielder to throw the ball all the way across the diamond. It's not always going to be perfect. You saw Seager short hop one to the first baseman when he got a ground ball. It's not always routine. Force them to make the throw across the diamond if they have to.
One out to Reddick. And he fouls it off down the right field line. 1-1.
About all you can do with that pitch. See him checking the bat there. That's what that pitch does. Breaks a lot of bats, just like Mariano. Guys used to leave their real good bats in the dugout when they faced Mariano Rivera, because it might be coming back broken.
He was special. I don't think we'll see anybody like that again. Or here it is, one pitch. I'm going to beat you for the next 15 years, okay, guys? One pitch.
I remember Jorge Posada wouldn't even bother with a sign. He'd just wave his arms like, bring it on, let's go.
Dodgers down to their final strike.
Again, that runner at second base, you got to go to the combination signs. I think he comes back with another pitch on the outside half.
On the ground to the right side. And the Washington Nationals win Game 2.
Well, that's why they went and got Mr. Melanson. No doubt at the end of the game. We got a series, boys.
A gigantic home run by Jose Lobaton. This team already down 1 game in the series, down 2 runs in this game. Rich Hill throwing up 1 strikeout after another. And with 1 swing, a 3-run homer, Lobaton turned it around.
The Nationals celebrate.
Right there. No doubt about it. Look at them all. They knew this was a must-win game. It's so hard to come back down 0-2 and think you got a chance in a 5-game series.
Game 3 in Los Angeles in 23 hours.
I like that. Get it going quick.
It's been a great series. A lot of pitching changes. At some point, a starting pitcher is going to have to step up and give some length.
Both teams used 6 pitchers today. Jose Lobaton, the hero for the Nationals, a 3-run home run off Rich Hill in the 4th inning to give the Nationals a 3-2 lead. And they go on to win Game 2 by a 5-2 score. One more look, 4th inning. Second career postseason home run for Jose Lobaton. He is with our JP Morosi. JP.
Thank you, Kenny. Jose, your first at-bat today, a double play. How did you refocus and deliver that huge home run in the 4th?
It's part of the game. Sometimes you're going to do it good, sometimes you're going to do it bad. And I tried to focus on my next at-bat and put a good swing. I was trying to hit the ball hard, and I got a good result.
You know, a lot of people around baseball were wondering, how would the Nationals replace Wilson Ramos? In that context, how special is this moment for you?
It is hard to replace Wilson. He's the Buffalo. He's my friend. But, I mean, we got to keep going. We got to keep going, and right now, just, like, play hard and win game.
Last one for you. Game 3 now begins in less than 24 hours. How much momentum is your team bringing to Los Angeles?
I mean, we feel good. We don't care if we got to play in 2 hours. We're ready to play.
Gracias, felicidades.
Thank you.
Back to you, Kenny.
All right, thanks, JP. So we look ahead to Game 3 tomorrow in Los Angeles on MLB Network. Gio Gonzalez and Kenta Maeda. And then Game 4, we are now guaranteed a Game 4 on FS1 on Tuesday afternoon from Dodger Stadium. As we welcome you into the broadcast booth following the Nationals' 5-2 victory, Kenny Albert, Harold Reynolds, Tom Verducci. Jose Lobaton in 2012 got married at home plate at Tropicana Field in St. Petersburg. Which was a bigger moment, that day or his home run today?
Tom's got that one. No, it's got to be the marriage. Yeah. Come on, man. It's the marriage. Hey, look, we've got a series now. I think that's the big thing here. had the Nationals gone down 0-2, tough to get back into it. Even though Lobaton came up big and got married at home plate in Tropicana Field, I still think at the end of the day, it was a big win today for the Nats.
Before the series started, I circled Gio Gonzalez because the Dodgers don't hit left-handed pitching, and he's getting the ball in Game 3, traditionally the swing game in a 5-game series. All the more important now that the series is tied.
Best of 5.
You done?
Tied at 1. We're heading to Los Angeles. Have a good flight, guys. 5-2 Nationals in Game 2. Tied at 1. Game 3. Less than 23 hours away. For Harold and Tom and JP, this is Kenny. So long from Washington.